Oh my goodness. Are we actually able to play this game 3 times in 1 month?
I don't
Wow.
know. Sounds fake.
Noah Wu, $500 penalty. Yeah, no? The 3rd, the 24th, and now today. God damn.
Wow.
We're pioneering stream frequency here.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, do you guys want to try and summarize what happened last time?
Oh boy.
Last time we died a bunch.
Yes, we did.
Not as much as a particular previous stream.
Yes,
But
but
we did die.
of note is that we were able to participate in the feast, and specifically what our role in the feast is. We are the snake, and now
Snake.
and now we have a bunch of possible options, and then the following day, this morning when we woke up, no one was dead, which was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
But then we needed to go and participate in the feast, and that means that we really do need to we really do have to hang someone eventually, which is not great, but it's how the game works.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and so now we're at that point where we have to start killing people, even though no one's actually been hung, because even though we're the snake and we know what our who we investigate, the journalist whose name is escaping me, Mamiya. Yeah, she claimed to be the snake, and then accused Taiba of being a wolf, and we know that's not true, but like
We
we
when
can't.
we tried to call her out on it, we got murdered.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that the next time.
Yeah. So now we know that we're reasonably sure that Taiba was not a wolf, because she was last time, but even with that, there's nothing saying she can't be a wolf this time. But, like, the bigger problem is that we can't out that we know that Mamiya's full of shit, because then that would out ourselves as being the real snake, and we don't want to do that because that gets us killed immediately. So now
Snake is a very high priority target.
yeah, so we just kind of had to let Taiba be hung, and that was not pleasant.
And when Takumi finds out we're the snake, and we knew all along that Mamiya
Takumi's
was
gonna
a wolf the whole
fucking
time.
kill us, bro.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You knew and you did nothing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Upon returning, the Oribes wore docile expressions. But they didn't have anything to say. They just returned to their seats, and that was that. It seems they came down at about the same time as the two students went to pick them up. This is the first time I'd seen him so serious. It made him look a lot like his brother. Large eyes, a straight gaze. They probably inherited those features from their late father, a Higuchi. I couldn't help but wonder what they'd talked about. Yasunaga-kun probably wanted to scold Yoshitsugu-kun, while Kaori-san probably was concerned about how they were holding up. I did think it was important to have a strong will in this situation. An outburst of violence would be quickly silenced, and we couldn't afford to lose potential votes to that. The feast was built around the premise of killing people through logical deduction, and letting that foundation crumble was not an option. Otherwise, we'd quickly be overwhelmed by madness and blind, murderous rage. The only ones who'd benefit from that would be the wolves, who had the upper hand in information.
It's quite uncomfortable here, so let me treat you. Something sweet, perhaps?
She presented us with something, and I had no idea what. What's this? Anko? Nope. My bowl had something gray and paste-like in it. It was steaming, too.
Oh, it's taco.
No, it's not. That's in a shell, dumbass. This is sludge. Anyway, everyone was overjoyed and began digging into the paste with their chopsticks, so I had no reason not to do it, too. It looked like Anko and was about... God damn it. Duck, duck, go, Anko. Anko Mitarashi from Narutopedia. Not what I'm looking for, thank you. Anko food. Doesn't actually say what it is. Red bean paste. Never mind. Okay, cool.
Ah.
It was about as soft. I brought my face closer, and it actually had a good smell, like cubic rice crackers. The steam made it obvious, but it was pretty hot. Sweet, too. Above all else, though, it smelled good. It reminded me of barley or rice. Grain, basically. Tea. It just happened to be sweet.
It's hataiko. Parched barley flour stirred in hot water.
Is it hataiko or taco? What the...
Are there like subcategories?
Is that what it's called outside?
Well, it has several names depending on the region. It was really popular before the war, and you can still get it at some supermarkets.
So this is a soda or pop thing, I see.
Yes, the locals have been making barley flour and eating it for a long time now. That's what someone told me.
No one commented on her correcting herself.
I've never heard of taco, though. Perhaps it's a mutation of hataiko.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the game up a little bit. Even in this situation, Mamiya-san was acting professionally.
She's like a food blogger, right?
Yeah. Though everyone lightened up and made room for some idle talk, no one brought about anything about the feast. I guess that's correct, but like weird. No one was in the mood for it either. However, I was sure that just about everyone here had thought the same thing, that Hisako Mamiya was a wolf. She was a bad liar. From what I'd seen during the previous loop, Haru-chan was the same way. However, since she was a bit of an eccentric, no one would notice if she acted a bit unnatural. Mamiya-san, however, was clearly the cool and intelligent type, so the sudden change in her behavior immediately stood out. Didn't seem like it had anything to do with the burden she had as a snake or fear of the nightly attacks. If she had nothing to hide, she would calmly defend her actions and do something to help her survive the night. The first impression was a very important thing. She was lying. Everyone thought that, not just me. I wasn't able to get them to accept the badger's existence as fact, so they all should have assumed she was a wolf. On top of that, I was thinking about what she'd do and what I'd do with her tomorrow. Enjoying the simple sweetness, I continued to think all by myself. Time passed. We weren't too hungry, but we had dinner, rice gruel, at 5 p.m., then split up. Takumi-san had yet to return.
Go back already.
I appreciate the help, but this is my job.
Just go back.
Ahem.
Crap. The bluff from yesterday was too strong. I had absolutely no intention of laying a hand on a widow with teenage sons, but Yoshitsugu-kun was acting like a real knight protecting a princess.
Well, he's insisting, and you've been a great help so far. Why not go and rest early?
I will do just that, then.
Hope you fall in a fucking field.
Jesus, dude, alright. I mean, that's fair.
What's your language?
See you tomorrow.
Yes, you too.
See ya.
See ya, huh? It made it seem like he didn't see me as a complete enemy. I had no idea what he was thinking. What had they talked about back there? I was a bit curious. I'd probably have to ask Yasunaga-kun to find out. As I walked to my hut through the dark mist, I ran into the students.
Oh, Hassan, you're here early today.
Go when you have to, and let's go back.
I know these are their, like, just regular sprites we've seen elsewhere, but the sprites of Haru and Yasunaga together are very cute. We were waiting for you. Hope it's not a bother. What do you need? I couldn't sense anyone else hiding in this dense mist, but that didn't mean there was no one there. Also, the only one out of these three I could trust was Yasunaga-kun. I hoped it wasn't about to reveal something dangerous. Yeah, last time we started to get some suspicions that Mochi might be a wolf. That's not fun. I wanted to thank you. Don't look at me like that. Why are you looking at me like that? Thank? Yes. You stopped Yoshitsugu yesterday, didn't you? He told us. Whatever do you mean? Though I can't say I approve of your methods. You even mentioned that? Yes. Oh. Can I go hit my head on that rock and die? It's fine, it's fine. He said it helped him cool off.
What's this about?
This sounds lewd.
No. I mean, yes, but nah.
Yeah.
Anyway, if he knew that much, I didn't have to hide it. Mochi held Haru-chan back while Yasunaga-kun and I continued talking. Sorry about that. I needed something to provoke him, and it was the only idea that came to mind. I see. He's single-minded, which is good, but he doesn't seem to have a clear position in or outside the feast. Yes. That's why I wanted to tell him to actually use his head, but Mom... What did she say? Just something ominous and boring. But that also helped Yoshitsugu cool off. Didn't seem like he'd get any more detailed. I see. So that's what you three were talking about. Yes. Please don't suspect us.
Yeah, Nisha would never do anything bad. You're way shadier than him.
Well, Hassan probably thinks that Haru-chan and I are both shady.
Anyway, that's it. Also, sorry for being so helpless. What a grim face. It was the same as the one he made when his efforts to prevent Tai-san and Mamiya-san from being lynch targets turned out to be in vain. Don't be. I'm the adult here, so that's my line.
Yeah, to be honest, at this point only Haru-chan's grandpa has any real power. Don't blame yourselves. Everyone's powerless before the mist.
You said something normal for once.
I'm holding myself back as Yasun and Haru-chan are here.
That made sense. We'll be going then. Be careful, Fusaishi-san.
We'll bury you if you're dead tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I sure hope you would.
I don't think. Don't they toss the bodies in the river?
That's true. That's pretty morbid. I don't think she likes me, guys. I sent them off with a simple goodbye. Guys, I really think she doesn't like me. But one of them refused to leave.
Haru-chan?
What did you mean by I already tried it?
Did we fuck up?
Oh.
Did we
Might have fucked up.
Where did we fuck up? Where did we fuck up?
Oh,
Probably
this
like-
was a scene
Yeah,
a
that-
long
this was
time
last
ago,
time.
yesterday.
Was it last time? Sorry, I thought it was
Mhm.
in this conversation.
I think it came up in the feast itself.
What?
I thought it was when we were trying to stop Yoshi.
I mean, he's about to say it, I'm sure. I wondered what she meant by that, but then... I already tried it. Thanks for not giving any other context. She mean the thing that I told Yoshitsugu-kun last night? What are you talking about? Yasunaga-kun didn't know? Did Yoshitsugu-kun not mention that part? Oh, were you listening in on us yesterday? That would explain everything. Rikuko-san had done exactly that, and it wouldn't have surprised me if Haru-chan had done the same.
3 of us went back early, though. Did you ask him something later?
I had no idea what she was talking about. Mochi's words supported my assumption. There was no response. This talk wasn't that big of a deal, but the silence made it feel needlessly tense. Haru-chan. Did my voice contain a little too much irritation? I regretted speaking up, but then all of that was blown away. What the
I
fuck?
see. So you rose. You tried again several times, have you not?
What the fuck? What the fuck? For a moment, it felt like her mouth displayed a frighteningly maniacal grin. Haru-chan!
Mm.
Oh no, that was not the intended delivery there, I don't think, but next moment her expression returned to the usual sullen face.
Huh? What's wrong?
Let's go back, you two.
Huh? Okay.
Hold on, what was that?
Hassan,
The one who stopped me from going after the other two was Mochi.
this is our secret. No one else's. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with the feast. Ignore it. Go to
Probably.
sleep.
Probably. So I guess our time loop phenomena is just completely unrelated to the mysterious death curse on this village. What are you talking about? Ho-chan's weird state just now?
Yep.
She also went all weird in the middle of the feast, didn't she? Yeah, that happened when Rikuko-san used the word God.
You shall go no further. See ya, Hassan. Do your best tonight.
He also left
Do your
for the
best
bombshell.
at sleeping?
Do your best tonight could only mean that he knew I had a guardian. Who was I supposed to trust? Or rather, who was sane here? Ah! What the fuck?
Lights up.
Why is everything so weird right now?
How complicated and mysterious.
Are you talking about yourself?
Oh, how mean.
That was my line. I almost screamed when she popped out. What's up with you?
I remembered what happened yesterday, which had me worried. It would not be good if you found shelter too late. Also, it appears that Haru Makishima-sama has not healed yet.
Healed?
Yes. When Haru Makishima-sama lost her parents, she was left with a mental illness.
I don't know if I'd say, well, okay, maybe, but like it seemed more like she's kind of possessed by something occasionally.
Some went as far as to say that she was possessed by the Yukami-sama.
I'm a genius. Possessed by a wolf? I've heard of possession by fox, but that's new to me. Doesn't seem unlikely, though.
Yukami-sama do not possess humans.
Is that not the conceit of the feast? No, it's that they...
Was the conceit that they
take
replaced them, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Never mind. I mean, I guess that's sort of possession. I don't know, whatever.
It's my kids are completely different.
I mean, we don't know specifically, but is
There's
that how
possession
it
and
is?
replacement. I mean, whatever, not important.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, how do I put this? It is something that would be troublesome if it could happen easily.
Huh.
Yukami-sama and the other guardians are godlike entities. Even the Yomotsu Okami-sama rank highly on that front. To summon a god of that caliber, you must prepare an appropriate ritual. Possession by wolf is not something that can happen so easily.
That was a decent explanation. I could understand that it would be weird for famous gods to just possess someone. So, was this the work of a fox or a tanuki?
We serve Great Lord Shinai, so we should be warded from those kind of creatures.
But didn't the wolves get betrayed and killed by humans and other guardians? Maybe that left an opening.
That is something that we still do not know.
What do you mean?
Yasumizu is actually the only place where it is said that the Yukami-sama are dead. In Kamafuji-oji head families, it is even said that it is the Yasumizu inhabitants who are the Yomibito.
I mean, I kind of got that vibe from them when we were there. They didn't seem to like you guys very much. Is that true?
Yes. Could you keep it a secret from the villagers?
What would happen if I told them?
They would be quite upset, surely.
That would be an understatement, I think. Yeah, of course they would. It wouldn't make sense for them to become murderers just because they heard something like that.
A long, long time ago, when I was still a girl, Kamifuji-yoshi's people got drunk and revealed the truth behind the feast of the Yomi Purge.
Yeah, Tai-san herself said it last time. Just knowing the real story wasn't good enough. That knowledge alone didn't motivate the wolves and Badger to kill. Back then, Chiemi was probably just dealing with her own problems. I badly misunderstood her situation. It really did seem like the wolves had a change of heart due to more than simply words. This was good. I could now see a bit more of the overall picture.
Arawaki-sama. Arawaki-sama.
Oh, sorry. What is it?
You were making a scary face. Did I say something bad?
Do you always do that? Just stand there with your face all screwed up and whatever the fuck, you know.
You seem to be contemplating quite deeply.
No. Sorry. We were talking about Haruchan, right? So, what's up with her?
Nosoto's doctors said that she had a mental illness.
I'm fairly certain that OBS didn't let that go through because of the noise canceling thing that I have going on, but in the background I have the Alarmo set up, and it was the hourly chime for Animal Crossing. So as we were talking about this very serious topic, I just hear the town tune going off and the cuckoo clock sounding. It was very stupid. All right, you read this line, right?
Yes. However, in Kamafuji-oji, as 2 of us here, people never stopped whispering that she was actually possessed by the wolf. That was why the Uematsu came to banish the corruption, and she became better.
Did you pray or chant or something?
Something like that.
That made sense. The 4 families ruled through the local faith, so cracks in their beliefs were serious trouble for them. I didn't quite relate to the idea that some beastly possessions couldn't happen, but since they'd brought in the Uematsu to deal with it, it could only mean they'd wanted to handle it from a religious standpoint. In a way, that was an admission that Haruchan was an exception in their faith. The family heads had probably wanted to treat it as a problem that had nothing to do with the religion, but that hadn't worked out. Well, if they didn't allow healing her with a change of the environment, this didn't seem all that unusual. There were stories of beastly possession all over Japan. Mamiya-san probably had tons of them in her head. It did freak me out a bit that it happened here of all places, but I felt like I had to consider it separate from all the other strange phenomena here. What I'm about to do has not been approved by the Vatican. By the way, did you ever hear anything about possession by Yomibito?
That would be strange as well. Yomibito are fearful creatures that have no human intelligence or virtue. Haru Makishima-sama did not seem to fit that description.
Hmm. That reminded me of that last time Rikuko-san had been declared a Yomibito when something went wrong with her mind. Haru-chan wasn't like her at all. And since no one could think of an explanation, they began thinking that she was possessed by the Yomotsu Okami? The Yomotsu Okami? Right?
Yes, Kamafushioshi had many people who knew of Yasumizu's legend. They said that, corrupted or not, a god was a god, and that since she was in such an eerie place, she might have been possessed by the wolf.
And the prayers healed her, huh?
Yes, in the end, it was considered to be merely minor trouble caused by the corruption.
I didn't get it completely, but it didn't seem like a big deal, and ended a while ago, but now it had come back.
This is our secret, no one else's. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with the feast. Ignore it
Probably.
and go to sleep.
Probably.
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 Definitely. Definitely? Definitely.
Probably.
This is our secret? No one else's?
Perhaps the children know something of Haru Makishima-sama's illness.
I doubt they'd say anything, though. If Mochi wasn't lying, then this had nothing to do with the feast, and that was what I thought too. This was a Fujiyoshi problem, completely independent of the feast. However,
I see. So you rose. You've tried again several times, have you not?
what did she mean by rose? I think I heard something like that during today's feast, too.
To rise is to come back, especially from the land of Yomi. Rose is its past tense.
Okay. I
What are you,
appreciate
stupid?
I appreciate that the game gives us lectures on like the etymology of Japanese words or whatever, or like the history of shit like that. But when they do it for an English phrase here, it does seem a bit like they're talking down to you. Like, then rise not means don't come back from the dead? Rikuko-san nodded. Well, that made sense. Yasumizu considered returning from Yomi to be ominous, so it served as a farewell to the dead here. You don't need to read that again. Stop that! All right, I see. So you came back from the dead. You have tried again several times, have you not? How? How did she know that? I was being subjected to some weird death loop, and I was the only one aware of it.
What's a different game?
This was the one thing that I couldn't justify in a purely logical manner. Had she noticed it when she was supposedly possessed? Was I just overthinking it? Maybe she'd been referring to something else, or was simply spouting random nonsense. Was it possible that something supernatural really had possessed her, and it could tell what situation I was in? I didn't want to believe that, but I would keep it in mind as a possibility. However, not even Rikako-san seemed to know anything about this supernatural entity. Was it completely unrelated to my situation, the feast, and Fujiyoshi's legends? I couldn't afford to overthink things. However, for all I knew, Haru-chan could be the key to unraveling this strange situation. I'd have to keep that in mind. I'd gotten lost in thought again, but this time, Rikako-san just silently waited until I was done. She, too, was wearing a profound expression, hanging her head and lost in thought.
We are ignorant mountain people. Wisdom was buried, and now we are dancing a pathetic dance.
Anyone would be like that in this situation.
Aruwaki-sama, I see you will not go any further.
What do you mean? Like I said before, I don't have any special powers.
What about special circumstances? Or a special past? No, it does not matter. I merely want to believe that you are special, Arawaki-sama. I do not know what started it, but after seeing you through the shadow of the leaves that day, I have been thinking of nothing else but you. It could be because you helped me when I hurt my head on the Okiba, or because you called me by name. I looked for reasons, but I am still not certain. Perhaps none exists? I cherish you, Haruwaki Fusaishi-sama.
So I made her say it. Rikako-san.
It is fine. No need to say it. I am not the type of person who could hope for something like that. I only said it because I had something else to say.
Which would be...
Please, flee this place.
Well, I think we've established that that's not possible.
This isn't Donkey Kong, you liar. Well, it just so happened that all four of us were available tonight, and we kind of had to act on it. But I did very much want to play Donkey Kong tonight. It's fun. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. I can't, can I? I knew that well. I'd believed that I could just escape last time, and ended up failing to protect anyone. I understand why everyone here is so afraid of this mist. It's because you can't escape it, and it will remain until the feast comes to an end. That's why I...
Please, don't say it. I am not doing this because I want your gratitude or comfort. I am doing this as a descendant of the bedroom woman servants.
I still hate
who
that.
must see their guests on their way back, and as a woman who treasures you. I truly want you to survive this. You have no reason to die in a place like this. I am sure you have a place you must return to. Do not worry. Even if you have lied or become indebted, it is nothing compared to the sacrifice the mountain asks of you. So, I will help you escape.
What? That actually sounded like she knew a way to escape this place. I wanted to ask about it. I had to, even. Despite feeling that way, though. Please don't say it. I refused. Oh shit! New triumphant music! I knew full well what that meant for her.
Even though you are as good as deceased?
Am I now?
No, but it will surely happen if you continue this.
Yukiko-san, do you have any other dark secrets?
Huh?
She stared at me in bewilderment. You always knew that you could help someone run away if you discarded yourself and your feelings. However, you didn't know if you could go through with that, right? You didn't know if you should throw away your duty as an Uematsu and save someone, or stay in Yasumizu until the end and keep being an Uematsu. After a lot of inner conflict, you decided that letting me escape was the right thing to do, and that you wanted it too. You wanted to make me believe that it doesn't matter what happens to you as long as I'm alright. I don't like that, Man, this was fun. I'm gonna play this by my own rules. It was fun, and she was just lovable.
Sorry.
That's why I want to change the rules. How about this? If you cut it out with the unpleasant secrets, the man called Haruaki Fusaishi will trust Rikaku Uematsu. Seriously lovable. I will survive for Rikaku Uematsu's sake, while you will survive for Haruaki Fusaishi's sake. And if we both survive, you can ask Haruaki Fusaishi for whatever you want, and I can do the same with Rikaku Uematsu. Willing to gamble on that? Sounds way more fun, don't you think? Rikako-san was trembling. Yeah, like, the whole meet cute with Rikako is fun and all that, but, like, this is way more of, like, anime bullshit advancement for a romance than it felt like with Chiemi, and I'm not a big fan of it. It's fine enough, but it feels kind of weird doing multiple romance options in the same continuous story while the other character is still there. It's
Okay, so we have to kill Chiemi then.
No! 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 Rikako-san was trembling. Her face was all red, her eyes were full of tears, and her shoulders were shivering.
This might be a foolish misunderstanding of mine. But do you mean that,
I wasn't rude enough to force her to say it. Instead of waiting, I just embraced her. Oh my god, she's so short. I'm not gonna abandon you and run away. That'd mean letting go of such a tasty-looking woman. It'd be one hell of a waste. What the fuck, piss
What?
man? Stop! Shut the fuck up. Stop. Get some help. So, please, survive. Well, are you taking the bet? I felt her heated breath on me. It seemed to penetrate my shirt. Not a good enough reason to use that word.
No, you must flee.
You are adorable. So much that I wanted to take her right then and there. But the rest will have to wait for later.
No. Now.
I'll have you ask that again when the bet's won. That alright with you, Rikako-san? I tightened my embrace a little. Eventually she nodded, sealing the wager.
Good night.
You too. Good night. It's a battle, I shouted, and she responded with a, "Whoa!" The flirting continued for a bit, and then we parted ways. Alright. With that out of the way, I had to make sure she kept up her side of things this time. Now, who to choose today? The situation was completely unlike yesterday. Takumi-san was in an even more critical position than before. It reminded me of Kaori-san's situation from last time. If he went out of control, the only one who could stop him was probably Kanzo-san, but even then, someone could die. Yunosuke-shi was, as Mochi had pointed out in the feast, a convenient dumping ground for votes. Knowing Kanzo-san's influence, Mamiya-san would definitely become a candidate for a hanging. In fact, it was more or less obvious that she was an enemy by now. On the other hand, we had people in important positions that in completely different ways than yesterday. Mochi had good intuition and used it on me a lot. And Haru-chan, she had little to do with the feast, but she might have had a hint or two regarding my looping phenomenon. Investigating her would be completely personal, but I'd already let Tai-san die because of my selfishness, so that wouldn't be special. It was pretty messed up, clearly, but so was the situation where a selfless act could prove fatal. Besides them, Kaori-san, the old wolf guy, and Yoshitsugu-kun were still total blanks. Whether Kaori-san was a wolf or a human, she'd be a real danger if her sons died. She wasn't a good target for the snake. Yoshitsugu-kun had a tendency to go wild, but he had little influence over the feast. The old wolf guy was the same as always, an unpredictable vote. I wouldn't pick them this time. Come to think of it, could I investigate the same person I checked yesterday? It'd probably be pointless, but I was curious. Who did I have to go for?
This actually reminded me of something I was thinking about after the last stream.
Yeah?
Why wouldn't Haruwaki, like, I know why Ne'er-do-Well doesn't happen, because it would be boring.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't Haruwaki just loop that first day over and over and investigate everybody?
Probably because he doesn't have the guts to just yeet himself after checking. There's also no guarantee he'll remember every detail from other loops. Like, it seems like the details that he does recall can be rather hazy. So much loop has been raged since the last time I watched, and now I'm lost. Well, we are in the feast now. Like, we're now able to participate in the feast. But specifically, this is difficult because, and on our first go around, we're not just a regular participant. We are the snake, meaning we get to investigate people at night to figure out if they're
The
a
sheriff
wolf or not.
role in classic Mafia or Werewolf.
Yeah. And then the day after we do our first investigation, Mamiya, the reporter lady, speaks up and says that she's the snake and accuses Taiba, the old lady, of being the wolf. And then we can't speak up and say that that's bullshit and that we're the snake because then we become a target.
We can do that and then we die.
Yeah, but... So now we're here on night 2 after Taiba was hanged as a completely innocent woman, and now we have to figure out who we want to investigate. So, what's our votes?
Mochi.
Mochi?
We already know Takumi's innocent, and we have that key that we got a key for last time, right?
First three we all know.
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
Yeah, so it's basically just down to Mochi and Haru.
Yeah, actually, does it say in the keys menu?
Yeah.
Truth of the young leader. After taking the power of the snake in the feast, Takumi is a human. Kinosuke is a human. Hisako-san, she's a wolf. Yeah, so we know Takumi, Kinosuke, and then we know Hisako. So we've got Mochi and Haru is really the decision. So do we want to investigate Haru for personal reasons, or do we want to investigate Mochi to make a decision?
I want to
We, the
investigate Mochi
players,
because I am
are suspicious of Mochi.
extremely suspicious.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
are
I feel
suspecting
like the
Mochi.
game wants us to investigate Haru.
I feel like
Let's
we're
do
gonna...
Mochi and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, this might not matter. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I wrote down the name, left it near my pillow, and went to sleep. Does anyone remember what that was? Truth of the Genius.
It's not human, pretty sure.
Uh-oh.
He is a wolf. An unpleasant revelation, but I should be
no.
able to corner him with this.
Oh no.
Oh dear. 5:15 Thursday.
Also, someone probably died overnight, too.
Yeah. I woke up to yet another day and got the info I wanted as the snake. You could also say the wolves had let me live. Could I trust that
Finally.
Yasunaga-kun and Mochi were the only ones who suspected me? I could contribute to the human survival by hiding my identity as the snake and gathering information about the others. However, that had me worried. Would everyone believe the snake who'd survived by hiding his identity and revealing himself late into the game? I was particularly worried about Kanzo-san. He hadn't said anything completely wrong so far, but there was a tendency for anyone he cast suspicion on to be dogpiled by the others. That seemed intentional on his part, but it seemed like a mistake to me. Yasunaga-kun's attempts at resistance hadn't gone well so far. He didn't have many cards to play yet. Perhaps he believed that I could be one of those cards? Would I be able to act today? Weighing my options, I opened the door and saw Takumi-san.
Ah!
My surprised gasp quickly became a cry of pain. Knocked backwards, I was thrown back into the hut. Sitting on the floor, I looked up at him. He wasn't saying a thing.
Better heart beating.
His expression was stern, his eyes seemed to be boiling with hatred. In his left hand, he held a hoe. Even that seemed like a lethal weapon when held by a man with such threatening visage. He was out of control, and I was clearly in danger. He still wasn't saying anything, not because of hesitation, but because he was waiting for my reaction. He would decide what to do based on what I did. Why are you here? Still on the floor, I asked him that. 2 died today. His response wasn't an answer to my question, but it was an important thing nonetheless. We had a death that broke the rule of 1 per day, 1 per night, something commonplace during the previous loop. It had happened again. Who? I was more or less certain that one of them was Yoshitsugu Oribe. The boy went wild during the first night last time, and he tried the same this time, so I assumed that another night was all he needed to gather the resolve to go wolf hunting. Instead of answering, though, Takumi-san just took a step forward and closed the door behind him. He crouched down and looked at me in the eyes, but even from that position he loomed over me. You said you voted for me to protect me yesterday. His voice was quiet, but I hear barely concealed rage in it. Explain that to me in a way even I can understand. He then rested his right hand on the hoe. I couldn't read his true intentions. However, he was definitely in charge here, and a wrong answer would be punished harshly. This would be a tough one. I knew this would happen. I had to consider what was on his mind. He was probably planning to beat me up no matter how I responded. However, he did seem to leave some space for consideration in case I gave him a good answer. I was now being tested. In this situation, he'd only understand if I provided him with something unexpected. If I could do that, I could get him to agree with me. I had already planned a response to this. It was both well-rounded and difficult to pull off. Yesterday, you were at a crossroads. You always believed that Yasumizu was unified, and that no one here would kill anyone else. However, since you also valued their words, regardless of which generation they were from, you were unable to commit to a course of action. I paused for a sec. Go on. He prodded me with the hoe. It didn't hurt, but it seemed antagonistic. However, he was still giving me a chance to talk. The elders, especially Tai Yamawaki-san, believed that the feast was a paranormal phenomenon with absolute power over all within, and that death was unavoidable. The legend she recounted to us was the reason why Yasumizu became isolated, even here in Fujiyoshi, but it was also a part of its identity. Make it simple. Because of the story about killing the wolves in revenge, Yasumizu was given the unfair role of being the defense against Yomi. However, if you accepted life here and looked at it from an optimistic standpoint, the story was actually something to be proud of. That was why, despite saying that the stories were nonsense, you couldn't just brush them off. He seemed to understand me so far. On the other hand, you are better at using your head and thinking logically than most others here, so you were better at telling truth from lie. That was why you could retaliate to Chiyomi-chan's and Yasunaga-kun's more modern, logical ways of thinking. One had lived in the city, while the other had a keen mind. However, they themselves looked at the situation differently. While one calmly thought that you couldn't just go off and murder, the other calmly thought you can't avoid murder. You relate to them all. That was why you wanted to take the middle road, but that would make it impossible for you to move forward or back. As the leader of Yasumizu and the mediator between the generations, you had to live up to their expectations. That was why you decided to assume who were the enemies of Yasumizu and prioritize attacking them. Fortunately for you, you had a few options. One of them was the mystery girl, Meiko. Another was Rikuko-san. She was a village head, and they had a history of prejudice against Yasumizu. And then there was me, the guy with the unknown background. After that, there was Mamiya-san. Her identity was clear, but she was still an outsider. And lastly, Nosuto-san, the village head who didn't seem to know anything because he was a second child. Of course, Yamawaki-san and Kaoru Oribe-san, both of whom you were close to, were lowest on this list. You simply wanted to attack them based on this order because you wanted to avoid hurting those you were sympathetic to. I wouldn't call it unreasonable. It's natural to believe that the invaders are the enemies, rather than that your neighbors became murderers. You were able to carry on this way of thinking until yesterday morning. No one died that night, after all. However, that all crumbled at noon when Yasumizu's people prioritized killing a local mainstay over an outsider. That's why you locked yourself up. You needed time to rethink your strategy. You considered how to rework your list of enemies and how to determine Tai Yamawaki-san's murderer. My words were cut off when he threw away the hoe and grabbed me by my collar. That's not true! Being shaken by his powerful fists made it hard to breathe, but it wasn't violent just yet. If it really isn't, can you argue with words instead of threats? That's how you usually are, right? However, you decided to create enemies for yourself. That left you with only one option. Oppose the ones who killed Tai-san and avenge her by attacking them. No! Yes! Though she claimed to have a guardian, it was clear that Mamiya-san's attitude was weird, and yet the one who was hanged was Tai-san. That's why you thought that the wolves must have banded up and voted for Tai-san. They had to be lurking among those who voted her into her death. I'm sure that's what you thought. And in turn, I thought this. At this point, the guilt from not saving her would get to you, and you would go berserk without any regard for yourself. Perhaps to the point of killing all the suspects, even if it meant getting the corruption. That's why I thought about what I had to do. If I voted for Yamawaki-san, I would be your enemy number one. Meiko was young, and while Rikuko-san voted for Yamawaki-san, she accepted that. Me, though, I have nothing. If you went berserk and started killing, I would be the first on your list. That was why I couldn't vote for her. That's your reason? You had another choice, damn it! He was right. Tai-san had already had more votes. I saw the difference clearly and could use my vote to take it to the final vote. Even so, I couldn't vote for Hisako Mamiya. Why? You suspected her too, didn't you? And now? What was I to do here? There was no guarantee that no one was listening. It was probably best to assume that someone was. Even if there wasn't, was it a good idea to tell him about my guardian? I didn't have much time to think about this. Takumi-san grabbed the hoe again.
Ooh, a key.
Oh.
So we know he's human because we investigated him before, which means that if we don't trust him, we're just get beaten to death immediately.
May as well check, I suppose.
Do we want to check or do we want to go down what seems like the right path?
Let's just check. Fuck it.
Might get
Let's
another key.
die.
I was rotten to the core. I was the type who balked at trusting others. Loved ones made the right decisions in times of hardship. Help would come when you were in danger, genuinely meaning the sweet nothings you whispered for life. If I asked people how they could be so sure about any of those, I'd be treated as cold-hearted for the most part. But trusting others meant taking risks, and the responsibility of those risks would fall on me, not the person I put my trust in. Of course, there was some situations where I had to take risks. Situations where I didn't know if I'd succeed or not, and got conflicting advice from others. I wanted to avoid situations like that, but if I had no choice, how would I choose whose opinion to go with? That was obvious by viewing them with an objective level of trust, by ignoring subjective impressions and basing it on past data and the advice with the valid chance of success. Wasn't it crazier to trust others based on character or blood ties? Those who made choices based on how long they'd known someone or familial bonds could do what they pleased? I'd be damned if I fell for those scams. I wouldn't trust them if they couldn't take responsibility for those risks on their own. No, I couldn't trust them. For the first time in my life, I felt that working against me. As I got my skull caved in.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Takumi-san was probably a human. There was almost no chance he was a wolf. But I could feel my distrustful nature scolding me for thinking I could trust him later once I investigated him with the snake. There was a non-zero chance his anger was all an act and he was just trying to intimidate me into confessing I was the snake. It was nearly zero, but not entirely. Swindlers and tricksters all took advantage of that risk to use others. If this were a malicious trap, the cost of this risk would be my death and defeat for the humans. I can't say. In the end, I just repeated that. My inability to trust him was probably based on abnormal levels of caution, that or my distrustful nature. Takumi-san released his grip on me, and I lost my balance and fell to the floor. I groaned in pain as I hit my backside, looked up and saw... I see. Takumi-san holding the hoe aloft. Fine then. Die. He swung it down. Womp womp.
Yay!
Maybe it was fortunate that this death had taught me a lesson. Distrust was not a perfect defense strategy, especially when faced with great physical danger. I'd learned that at the cost of my life, though maybe I could put that to good use next time. More importantly, perhaps it would be best to gain some proof ahead of time that I could trust him. Oh no! Whatever could we have done in this situation? If only we had a means to investigate what role they were in. Anyway, let's watch the hint corner so the sheep can make fun of us.
You've done it now, H. This was a tricky one.
No, it wasn't. We were just an idiot.
On
Let's get to
purpose,
the hint.
even.
Listen well. Bad ending 15. Youth leaders enraged punishment death. First bad ending, you get enraging loop for forgetting to take a key.
Yep. This sheep is not in the same art style at all. Correct.
You already got key 10, you'll definitely get a choice. Without it, it's a dead end. Well, I reckon Fusaishi should have already given you a hint as to where that information is, right?
Yeah. Imagine.
If you already have the key, go back to 5, but trust Takumi. If you don't, 2 places you can get it. First one is Investigation 1, and the other is Investigation 2. That should solve it.
Okay. They should put Jigen in this game. Boy, you really are one jellicle boy.
そういう夢だったってわけだ。次はもっと
I don't want to spoil your lunch, but... Anyway.
Just a gunk with the pot.
Takumi-san grabbed the hoe again. God, I've had like 3 scenes tonight where it's just me talking to myself. My decision wasn't due to trusting him personally. I did it solely because I knew he wasn't a wolf. I am the snake. Still, that was enough info to allow me to reveal it to him. That's why I knew she was a fake right from the start. His grip relaxed for a second, but then... Then why didn't you say it? If you'd revealed yourself, Bachan wouldn't have... It's because I understood that the wolves wanted to know who the snake was, even if it meant sacrificing one of their own. What do you mean? Yesterday, I said that to make an active effort to win, the wolves had to pretend to have guardians, but by that, I meant the wolves as a group. No matter how good of an actor you are, by acting like you have a guardian, you will be suspected and put in danger. As a result, the faker would eventually be hanged, but it would have bought some time for the remaining wolves. However, pretending to have a guardian when no one had died was way too risky. The real one was still alive after all. That meant that the wolves could have been planning only one thing: to draw out the real snake and kill them that very night. There was also the possibility that she was a badger, but that would have only made it more confusing, so I admitted it. I did nothing to stop Yamawaki-san's death. I won't deny that. However, I thought it was necessary for me to survive and get back at the wolves. I couldn't have voted for Mamiya-san either. Sorry?
Bachan is Tai Yamawaki, the old lady.
Yes. Yeah, Taiba is the other name that she goes by. So, I couldn't have voted for Mamiya-san either. It was to keep the wolves from realizing that I actually knew exactly what she was. That was why, instead of using my vote on them, I used it to send you a message. It was a pretty bad plan, if I say so myself. I had no idea if you would understand. But the result is clear. You came to me and gave me a chance to explain myself. This chance was necessary for me. What do you mean? Can you let me go? He did as I asked. We can avenge Tai-san by fixing the majority and killing all the wolves. However, for that, I need you to trust me. I already trust you. After all, I use the snake's power to confirm that you are human. Can you trust me? This was very one-sided. However, it was in line with his desire. He was conflicted between three things: sympathy for me as an unfortunate outsider, the unfairness of the final vote yesterday, and my suggestion. This was especially hard for him because he wanted to be impartial. I can't decide that so suddenly. I understand. But I kinda believe that you are the snake. Are you sure that's a good idea? The feast's all about whether or not you believe, or whether you believe or not, right? He had a point. Also, your assumption is right. Which one? I was thinking of killing you yesterday. Well, if I'd come here in the state I was yesterday, I'd probably have killed you before listening to anything you had to say. But I couldn't go through with it. Probably because I wanted to know what you meant. So I'd worked some word magic there, huh? But that has nothing to do with whether I trust you or not. And I'll think about your suggestion after you tell me more. That's good enough for me. By the way, you said 2 people died. Who? Oh, I was just thinking of telling you. Come with me. We gotta find the old man.
Okay, so he's fine.
The ones who died today were Haru Makishima and Misako Mamiya.
Huh.
Oh,
Mamiya?
When Takumi-san told me that, I was more confused than shocked. Why? Why them of all people? However, I couldn't spend a lot of time thinking. Takumi-san predicted that Kanzo-san would go on a frenzy if he saw Haru-chan's corpse. That reminded me of the time he'd ran up to her when she was acting weird. Mochi had told me that he loved his granddaughter a lot, and that was undoubtedly true. Takumi-san had walked around Yasumizu before coming to me, but he couldn't find Kanzo-san anywhere. It would have been fine if they'd just missed each other, but Kanzo-san always woke up and walked around before anyone else, so he must have already seen Haru-chan's body. Considering the situation, I couldn't help but feel that something bad was happening with him right now. He's got a rifle. Guy's more dangerous than me. Even Takumi-san, who almost killed me himself, deemed him a huge threat. Oh. At the plaza we met Shion.
Oh.
Her eyes were all red.
Nichan. Haruaki-san.
You saw the old man?
Huh? No, I kind of thought that you'd be doing something to Haruaki-san by now.
We'll talk about that later. Haru's room is open, right? Old man Kanzo must have already saw her. Let's stick together and search for him. Jamie, where'd Chikamochi and Yasu?
They might still be asleep.
Then wake them up, and let's gather at the dorm. Kusaishi, grab a stick or something. Oh, okay.
Haruaki-san, are you okay?
What?
Well,
I won't say I didn't touch him, but I didn't do anything to him. Let's just go already. His words in large frame made it feel like his usual strength and confidence had returned. Rikuko-san, Meiko, Kaori-san, Yoshitsugu-kun, everyone from the nearby homes were still with us. We told them what happened, but since we couldn't wait for the women to get dressed, we left this place in Yoshitsugu-kun's hands. Yoshi, if you see the old man, stop him at all costs. You protect the women and kids. You voted for Taiba-chan yesterday. Old man Kanzo might go for you without even giving you a chance to talk. But I kind of feel like it would work out for you. Sure you won't run?
Don't worry. Leave it to me.
wait, Takumi-san, would Kanzo-san really attack him just because he voted for Tai-san?
I wonder that as well. Yesterday, Makishima-sama suggested that we hang both Yamawaki-sama and Amiya-sama, and he himself was the one who put the noose over her.
Bah.
Thanks, Meiko. Yeah. Unlike me, he probably wouldn't go apeshit over Taiba-chan. But the Journo lady was a wolf. That's why it's possible that he'll suspect everyone who voted for Taiba-chan instead of her.
What's the confidence? You know something about the woman?
I was tense. It was entirely possible that Takumi-san was about to reveal what I was. However, I got a different response than I was expecting. You'll understand when you see her. As the three of us went uphill, an unpleasant reek tickled our noses. We arrived at the concrete stairs near the dorm. Usaishi, watch where you're stepping. I thought there was no deeper meaning behind those words, but then I saw the blood near my feet. A corpse. If I hadn't recognized it as such, I would have assumed it was a piece of modern art. Not because it was beautiful, but because it seemed so artificial. She was spread out. She was whittled down. All parts of her were torn, pulled, stretched in all directions. She actually covered the entire staircase. Muscle, fat, skin, tendons, hair, keratin, enamel, mucus parts, cartilage, eye lenses, clotted blood, excrement. All that had comprised this adult lady yesterday had been spread out over a large surface. It felt like I was looking at an anatomical drawing. It felt so artificial you could barely tell it was a dead human. But I didn't really know what to make of it. One thing was clear, though. There was no special knowledge or intent behind this. It was pure, unadulterated violence that simply departed once it was complete. At the center of it all, you could find half of the bones needed to complete a human being, but a part of the face was still intact, which clearly revealed that the corpse belonged to Hisako Mamiya. She died outside her room. You'll understand when you see her. That was why he'd said that. Chiemi covered her mouth. I told her she could vomit if she wanted, but she said she had nothing left in her stomach. She must have seen this when leaving the dorm and passing through here. We ended up avoiding the stairs and went up the steep slope instead. The grass below was wet. Thinking that some of it was caused by her fluids, I became somewhat disturbed. Haru-chan would have fainted if she saw this. That thought reminded me that she, too, was no longer with us, casting an even deeper pall over the scene. We arrived at the dorm without anything else happening. Mochi was sitting on the stairs. It was the first time I'd ever seen him sad.
Haru-chan's dead.
I thought he was unique enough to treasure something regardless if it was dead or alive. However, Haru-chan seemed to be an exception for him. Last time I'd found out that he liked her, but I wasn't sure if it was that simple, nor did I see the point of thinking about it. Where's Yasu?
Upstairs.
Yasu! After getting no response, we walked past Mochi up to the second floor. The door closest to the stairs was open. Yasu, you here? He was. He was on his knees, spacing out, looking utterly powerless. Get a grip. We're all gonna look for old man Kanzo. Yasu! Takumi-san rather violently shook him, and Yasunaga-kun made his first sound, a whimper. He didn't want to accept the despair before his eyes, and kept his emotions from blowing up. I could see that in his face. It's my fault. The first thing he blamed was himself. It's the third day. I still haven't found a single wolf. No! Takumi-san shook him again. This is all the wolves' fault. If not that, then it's my fault for not stopping old man Kanzo. Your work has just begun. Get a grip, Yasu. Chiemi, take over.
Yasu-kun.
She opened her arms. That's not the enter key. Oops. Yasunaga-kun refused the embrace, lightly pushed her aside, and left. She glanced back at me for a moment. Her expression felt hesitant to me. Or was I being too conceited?
We'll be downstairs. Yasu-kun, wait up!
Chiemi chased after him and tried to take his hand, and then I lost sight of them. Man, this is just horrible. I heard it from Chiemi, but still. Takumi-san looked back into the room. It's messed up. I felt the same way. This was nothing like the work of the wolves from last time. Kanzo-san had his face crushed, and Takumi-san had been shot in the head. Last time, Yasunaga-kun and Tai-san had both prioritized the head. It was a brutal yet efficient way of quickly taking their targets' lives. This, however, was the reverse. Haru-chan's empty, somewhat sad expression was preserved perfectly. Though stained by blood from her mouth, her deathly visage was even beautiful, in a sense. The rest of the body, though, was a complete mess. She was lying on a futon, covered in aged, casual clothes. For some reason, it didn't seem like she bled much. It was clear that she was beat up with a blunt instrument. Everything besides her head had been thoroughly crushed by something heavy. It was like a pancake from the neck down. Her limbs were bent in unnatural ways that made it seem like she had no bones. It was an excessive way to kill someone, and her face was clearly left untouched on purpose. It was openly malicious, like the killer was toying with their victim. Profiling wasn't my area of expertise, nor was I particularly good at it. However, I couldn't help drawing a certain conclusion. The wet, bloody footprints made it clear that this was, like last time, the work of the wolves. However, these wolves were far crueler than the previous bunch. Prioritizing the search for Kanzo-san, we left the cleanup for later and quickly returned to gather the others. Mochi and Yasunaga-kun joined us, and the 5 of us went to the Nosuto mansion next to meet up with Kiyotsukishi, who was just passing the gate. He was surprised that 2 people had died, but he was more bothered by the fact Kanzo-shi was nowhere to be found. It seemed to scare him.
He has a gun, doesn't he? This seems dangerous.
The old man I know would never use it on people. He's like a different person, with the mist around, though, he added. Kanzo-san had already pointed his gun at people. Takumi-san didn't want to see Kanzo-san as a threat, but it was clear he didn't trust him completely. His blind faith in the locals had vanished overnight. Probably wasn't virtuous in the general sense, but in the current situation, that naivete had been his only weakness. We then went to Tai-san's house, passing the supposedly empty construction site along the way. Hang on, give me just one moment. I'm gonna... Just so that I don't forget to do this. Investigation 2.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
might as well, I guess.
Truth of the girl. You can view it in the keys
Well,
list.
The girl.
past the
That's all
thing.
she gets. I mean, if the wolves killed her, it's pretty evident.
Yeah, also,
Yeah.
it's only skips text I've already read, so it was the same.
The image that actually showed it.
Oh, no, I thought that wasn't until the morning. Fuck, yeah, I'm stupid. I mean, I can just do it again.
Well, you can just check
Or
the
we could just
keys.
check the.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Or
not like the
just use
symbol
logic.
means
The fact-
anything to us. We're stupid. Can't read that shit.
We can tell the 2 from each other at least.
Yeah,
Well, just the fact that she got
she's a human.
pancaked
Yeah,
kind of indicates something.
yeah. Regardless, it is good to have as many of these keys as possible, so if there's ever an opportunity where we're going down what is very clearly the correct path or something, then we need to make
The
sure that
wrong
we
one
go
on
back and...
purpose?
Yeah. We went to Tai-san's house, passing the supposedly empty construction site along the way. We still couldn't find Kanzo-san or anything out of the ordinary. After that, we went back to the plaza. In the dining hall, we found Yoshitsugu-kun and the women, who were now dressed. They looked worried, but aside from that, everything was normal here too. We left Kiyotsukishi and Yasunaga-kun there as some extra defense. Yasunaga-kun was still in a state of shock, and everyone wordlessly agreed that he should be with his family now. Then we went to the north, downhill, but we still couldn't find anything. Takumi-san then parted some bushes for some reason, and as it turned out, the old wolf guy lived around here. Damn, bitch, you live like this? This made me realize that I hadn't seen his place yet. Wait! Wait! Wait!
What?
Wait, what are we
Where the-
waiting for?
It... As we arrived there, my first impression was that it didn't even look like a house. It was more like a wooden shed or storage room with frames that were barely stable and a door that didn't seem to fit properly. I was gonna say, where the fuck has he been living that in a spot that is specifically, like, acceptable for the qualifications of, like, not being outside? Like, it like... You know, it honestly didn't seem like it would qualify as shelter. It wasn't all that much better than that outhouse I had hidden in. Around it,
Yeah.
there were lots of
Well,
useless
outhouse
that
things.
did count
so.
too.
Yeah. Around it, there were lots of useless things like small pieces of cloth and rusty farming tools. Apparently, he had a tendency to go around Yasumizu and collect or steal these sorts of things. He wasn't in the hut. The open door made us nervous, but there was no dead body inside. After some more searching, we found the old wolf guy laughing around the pine, and he joined us. We now knew the whereabouts of everyone except Kanzo-san, and the body count remained at 2. We then checked Kanzo-san's house again, and it was still empty. And so we returned to the dining hall. Despite the tension, Kaori-san began making food. Well, it was important to stay well fed, so no one grumbled. It was rice gruel again, but no one complained about that either, and just ate up. The students and Chiemi didn't seem to have an appetite, though. Reasonable. We then talked about what we'd do next. It was about 7 o'clock. The fact that none of us had seen Kanzo-san yet was unnerving. Takumi-san insisted we go searching again, but the others began to think that it was a waste of time. Some assumed that he either left the settlement, got stuck in some pond or field, or was taken by the corruption. Though those were all major problems that would require us to find him ASAP, most just didn't want to continue this. It seemed to me that while Kanzo-san may have had a lot of influence here and many depended on him, a lot of the villagers had a latent aversion to him. In the end, though, we couldn't just ignore the possibility that he might have been lurking somewhere with his gun in hand. Once again, for the first time this loop anyway, a search party was sent out. Takumi-san, Chiemi, Mochi, and I all went around the misty settlement, but we couldn't find him.
What's going on here?
No clue.
I feel like we're wasting time here.
I had no evidence, but I felt the same way. Soon enough, we just went back to the plaza. And Debbie? Oh, Debbie's muted. Fuck.
Oh.
Usayuki-san.
Not my name! Mako-chan. It was a while since I'd last spoken to her. We hadn't talked once yesterday, and it seemed like it'd be a while until she found out my name. What's wrong? Where's Rikuko-san?
One-chan is talking about some difficult stuff, so I'm playing outside. What are the people in the dining hall doing? What if something happened to this girl? Miko-chan voted for Taiba as well, yeah? Bah?
Anyway, what's up?
I saw Ochi-chan.
What? Old man, what are you doing? He'd been right under our noses. Specifically the hall where we held the feasts. Yeah, I had a bad feeling he was here. He was exactly where he would be during the feast. Right next to him, there was an empty bottle of divine sake.
Kanzo-ji-chan, about Haru-chan.
Don't say it.
He pushed away the bottle and stood up. He didn't seem the least bit drunk. In fact, his eyes were even sharper than usual.
Haru's gone. All that's left is to bring an end to the feast. That's it.
In other words, the daily morning patrols he was always doing were for Haru-chan's sake. So now that she was gone, this was the only place for him. So you're waiting? He replied with silence and sat down again, bringing his hunting rifle closer to him. I'll call everyone.
It ain't time yet.
If we let you wait here, everyone's gonna be nervous.
Don't care.
Give me the gun. We'll put it back.
Go back.
Give me the gun. Instead of replying, Kanzo-san took his gun and aimed at Takumi-san.
Go back to the dining hall and wait till noon.
The scene seemed symbolic to me. Kanzo-san wanted to lead by force and demonstrated it with his killing instrument. At this point, no one could get in the way of him leading the feast. But then, something I didn't expect happened. Oh, fuck! It was right when Kanzo-san seemed to have finished talking. Takumi-san grabbed the front of the gun with his hand, pushed it aside, took a step forward, and punched Kanzo-san right in the face. I also didn't expect the old man to instantly retaliate. In less than a second, Kanzo-san let go of the gun and threw a punch into Takumi-san's face.
No!
Blood gushed out as Takumi-san's face was distorted in pain. However, that wasn't enough to take him out. A slap from the left hand, the base of the palm cleanly hit Kanzo-san's face, and the old man was thrown backwards. He hit the wall behind him with a loud crunch, but even then, Kanzo-san stood up, clearly ready for more. It was an opening. I grabbed the hunting rifle and gave it to Chiemi. Things were going so fast that I forgot I wasn't supposed to know that she knew her way around with guns yet.
Chi!
Take it apart and throw it away! But Takumi-san understood my intention.
Right.
Chiemi turned around. Kanzo-san tried to chase after her, but Takumi-san, Mochi, and I held him back.
Ugh.
I know how you feel, but guns are unfair.
So what? Can't trust no one. I gotta protect Yasumizu. What else can I do, huh?
You can trust someone. Takumi-san glanced at me, but I couldn't agree with him in this situation. I could reveal myself to Kanzo-san, but not in front of Mochi. Even if someone had been eavesdropping on us when I told Takumi-san, it still wasn't the time to reveal it. There's one thing that's clear. The wolves went for Haru-chan to get to you, Makishima-san. You understand that, don't you? Making the situation even harsher, like you are right now, is exactly what they want.
Don't act like you know.
I do! After all, everyone is starting to fear you.
You're the ones who started it!
If it weren't for the gun, I'd be apologizing for suspecting you by now. They then fell silent and glared at each other. Mochi, get everyone here. We should start the feast right now.
You're right. I wouldn't want to leave the old man alone.
Kanzo-san grunted, displeased, but offered no more protest towards starting the feast. Honestly, there was no real reason why the time for when the feast started had been decided when it was. Kanzo-san was only doing it on the same time as the first day. The fact that he insisted on the usual time so strongly that he brandished his gun over it made me feel like he was more obsessed with control over the situation than actually thinking things through. At the base of it all, there was mistrust. He couldn't trust anyone, so he simply repeated whatever had brought him success so far. It'd be good if that led to our victory. But the feast really had to be approached like a game. There was no single way to win, and there was competition. If you could read the enemy's strategy, you could also outplay them. That was significantly easier for the wolves. It was best to assume they understood exactly how Kanzo-san thought. That was why they'd targeted Haru-chan. It was necessary to rethink our own strategy. It would all depend on how today's feast went. Especially for myself, since I was the snake and had to survive no matter what. Everyone drank?
Yes.
All right. We're starting the feast. Haru was killed by the wolves last night. Her body's still in her room. We won't let her death go to waste. We'll find the wolves and end this hell. It might even happen today. There was whispering. The people wondered if that was really possible. Takumi-ni, I'd love to do that, too. But what are you planning? Can't say that yet. Good move. I hadn't explained my intentions to him yet, but he had a vague idea of what I was planning. The keyword was fixed majority. If he understood that clearly, we would have a chance at winning.
think we'll believe you if you don't tell.
After all that had happened today, I'd kind of worried Kanzo-san wouldn't say anything. But that wasn't what happened. He also wanted to give his all to end this feast with a victory. That was why he couldn't just stay quiet and let us all die, and continued pushing his strong approach to the feast, denying other ideas. Yeah, I can't say it. That might change, though. By the way, what were you planning to do today?
Hang everyone who voted for Taiba.
I knew it. I could hear whispers of perplexion and fear. His targets today would be the 4 who voted for Tai-san yesterday and didn't die last night. Basically, the old wolf guy, Yoshitsugu-kun, Rikuko-san, and Meiko.
Hold on. Why? The journalist was a wolf. How do you know?
Because her corpse was outside. Yasunaga-kun seemed to have recovered a little and was now doing what he had to again. In the feast, you're supposed to get 1 death per day and 1 per night. The fact that 2 died in 1 night means that something unusual happened. Haru-chan was dead in her own room because she was visited by the wolves. Mamiya-san's body was outside her room, and judging by its state, she was probably taken by the corruption.
Haru-chan was in a bad state, too.
I know, but her case was still something that could have been done by humans. Mamiya-san's was on a whole other level.
What about it? She just walked around at night, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly.
Then why would she be a wolf? Was it the old hag?
That's because... Wait, Yasu, let me say it. Okay. That woman was acting weird all day. The old man said he'd hang her, so I can't say I don't get her. What would happen if her death was all but certain? An outsider would try to escape Yasumizu, right? She'd think she could run away. But the lady didn't do it. Yeah, she hadn't even tried to run.
What of it?
If you're running away, it's better to do it during the day. Even with the mist, you can see stuff better in the light. You can't see anything at night. There's really no reason not to run away during the day. The mist would hide her and let her escape without us realizing it. If she'd run away yesterday after we all split up in the evening, she could have gotten to the very edge of Yasumizu. But that's not where she succumbed to the corruption.
Maybe she had some other reason for going out at night.
About that. Anyone else but me here try to stay awake at night? That question came out of left field, but Yasunaga-kun, Chiemi, Yoshitsugu-kun, and I raised our hands. Didn't you say you stopped?
We ain't talking about going outside, are we? I'm gonna stick to my futon in case someone came for me.
You went against the law of dreaming?
Yeah. Just 2 nights ago, like Yoshi. I grabbed a weapon and waited for something to come. But I still ended up falling asleep. Can you believe that? This whole thing's such a crisis. You shouldn't be able to fall asleep at all, yet before you know it, you wake up and it's morning. It's not that you're not allowed to stay up late. You just can't. It's one of the things that freaks me out about the feast. You should know if you try to stay up. Only the wolves can move around at night.
That's because she was an outsider.
That's foolish. That's foolhardy. I don't
I'm
think
not admitting I'm wrong. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm not owned. Shut up. Yeah. I don't think he's a wolf, but I do think that he's misinformed in this instance. Like, I don't think he's being sus so much as he is just, we need to convince him so that he votes where we want. Because otherwise, we need a fixed majority. Outsider or not, the feast is above all of us. If being an outsider was an excuse, the journalist wouldn't have fallen victim to the corruption. I had the mysterious experience of being spared by hiding in a toilet, but I had no choice but to stay quiet this time. Hashimoto-san, the large cameraman died by going out at night, didn't he? I don't know much about that, but if I gotta guess, he died because he wasn't sheltered properly. Cleanse, shelter. As long as you have those 2 covered, you'll definitely fall asleep. But if you stayed outside right from the start... It's just an assumption, though. Yeah, it is. You can ignore it if you want. But if the woman was a human, she'd have no reason to risk going outside. She's a wolf who was walking around at night, messed up somehow, and got punished for it. That's the only possible explanation. Yasunaga-kun and Yoshitsugu-kun both fell silent. They couldn't argue against that anymore. Sure, it was strange how we just somehow fell asleep, but there were cases of people going out at night, both this and the previous time. I'd have to think about it some more later.
Did you know that too, Makishima-san?
Only two kinds of people go out at night. Wolves and humans who die like dogs trying to kill the wolves.
With how important the dreaming law was to the locals, it was natural for them to assume that anyone who went out at night was a wolf. When you looked at it like that, Yoshitsugu-kun, who insisted on going out, was extremely reckless. That's why Hisako Mamiya was a wolf. So Bachan, who she set up as a wolf, was clearly a human.
Ain't it possible both of them are wolves?
I felt for him. It was his vote that killed Tai-san. Even if he was prepared for it, it was hard to justify. That's not impossible, but extremely unlikely.
No, it isn't.
Hmm?
Yamawaki-san, who we hanged yesterday, was a human.
Oh shit, she's the crow!
Aha! Sorry for keeping it a secret so far, but I am the crow.
What?
What? Seriously?
I shall take responsibility for my son's rudeness and his vote that killed Yamawaki-san. I am ready to take all the blame you give him, especially from Takumi-san, who loved Yamawaki-san like a mother. So please, don't punish him.
Her voice was sincere and sorrowful. She put her hands in front of her and placed her forehead on the floor.
Stop! Hey! I'm the one who voted. You had nothing to do with that.
Oh, that's probably how I looked yesterday. Takumi-ni. Don't worry, I know. Kaori-san, Yoshi. We ain't talking about who's to blame for Bachan's hanging.
But...
No buts. No one said it was a mistake back then, so we're all to blame here. Yeah, bleh. We're all to blame here. Fucking... We're all to blame here. Goddamn, I can read. No. The votes that killed her are more like something to help us decide what to do, not some sins that get the noose around your neck. Is that right, Yasunaga? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Are you sure, though? I won't forgive the wolves or whoever got them to kill. I'm with the old man on that. Kanzo-san slightly opened his eyes, looking surprised he'd come up, then looked away with a humph. Something's bothering me. Can I say it, Takumi-ni? Yeah, of course. Do we have anyone else claiming to be the crow?
Yasunaga.
I know. I want to believe, but this is what's expected of me here. Do we have any other crows besides Kaori Oribe?
Seniki, you damn!
Yoshitsugu, silence! Learn from his example. Yasukun.
I felt like the power balance here in Yasumizu was shifting. Kanzo-san was losing his influence, and Takumi-san's authority bridged the generations. That amplified Yasunaga-kun's voice, putting him back at the front. However, this was a temporary thing that could only last when Kanzo-san's high-handedness was failing. It could be turned around if someone messed up or was hanged today and drove someone else over the edge. I will say this just in case, but if you're real and you're keeping your silence, you're being nothing but a burden for us. If you know Kaori Oribe is fake and stay silent despite that, you won't be recognized as real if you decide to claim so later. Understand? Those words felt like they were directed at me, too. Scary. Looks like we have no one.
We had no one against Mommy's claim that she was a snake. And she turned to be a wolf, didn't she? Lost the voice there for a second. And now we have a whole 3 less people than yesterday. It's a bit too early to decide she's real just because no one else is revealing themselves now.
Yes, you are right. But the possibility that Taiba or Mamiya-san were the crow is extremely low. Exactly. Tai-san would have revealed that before she was hanged, while Mamiya-san wouldn't have had a reason to pretend to be the snake to begin with. There's nothing that says Haru-chan wasn't the crow, but I know that she was absolutely terrible at lying and keeping secrets. She didn't act like she was hiding a guardian, and we were together most of the time. I'm confident I would have noticed any signs that implied she was the crow. The possibility that Kaori Oribe is a wolf who realized that Haru-chan was the crow before I did, and then killed her to take her spot, is pretty much 0. There's also the possibility that Haru-chan hid her role until the end, and the wolves just happened to hit the crow by killing her. But that's unlikely too. None of those who died were the crow. Can you agree to that?
Your proof that Haru Makishino wasn't the crow is thin and circumstantial. You weren't the only one close to her, were you? What if a wolf that was also close to her realized she had a guardian and told Kaori Oribe? You can't deny that possibility, can you?
Sanaga-kun kept his eyes straight. To me, it seemed like it was a way of preventing those doubts from taking root.
Wait, did you just suspect me? No way. Ochi would never kill Haru-chan.
But the other wolf, though... I wouldn't be so certain, Gianni. But I don't believe he did it either.
What's your proof?
What a strange silence. It didn't look like he had nothing to say, more that it was hard for him to say it.
Come on, you said it yourself, Uncle. I'm an eccentric. I can't understand how others feel. I was with Haru-chan and Yasun because they don't mind no matter what I do. All I know is that they're good guys. I don't even care about anything else. You should say it too, Yasun. Tell them that's what I'm like.
I wouldn't say so. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that Haru-chan was the crow and got killed because of it. I think the crow is still alive, and it's her.
Yes, I am the crow.
Very calm, very collected. Thank you. I'm glad at least one person here has managed to keep a cool head.
For now. I see. Very well. Even I understand I am pushing it with the theories, so I shall keep to myself a bit.
Yes, finally, someone being Oh, no.
However, you can say the same thing about the snake as well. That means the real one is still alive, right?
This could be good. This might give us some credibility and also put our neck on the line, but it could be good. He was right. That was the right way to look at it, and it was true.
Let us push aside the reason why he or she didn't say anything when the fake came out. Is there a guarantee that the same thing isn't happening again? What if another fake showed up and the real one's keeping their silence, just like yesterday? You're just pushing it again. There's no way she's lying. The journal was a wolf and the old head was human, damn it! Even a fake has no reason to lie. If the goal is that people trust you, it's best to speak the truth. Even if another crow shows up today, they can only tell us the truth we already know, that Tayamawaki was human. And we would have no way to tell whether Lady Oribe or the other one was the real crow.
His assertion was a bit cynical, but accurate. If he was the modest and cautious one, he would be way more valuable to the humans. I must object to that. After all, Mamiya-san was a wolf who wanted to use the Guardian to survive. However, Kaori Oribe revealed her Guardian while begging to take all the blame for Yoshitsugu Oribe. It's neither wise nor right, but I believe it's the real her talking, not the cunning of a wolf.
The foolishness proves it, you say?
That is my reason for believing Kaori Oribe.
Higuchi's wife's never Dakihoshi, even if he's a wolf.
My heart skipped a beat. Kanzo-san's voice was like a rumble, and just like before, it was dense with gloominess and anger. He had a point too. If it were for her son, Kaori-san was capable of breaking the feast's mental shackles.
You old fart!
He's not that type of guy. He spoke forcefully. If he was a wolf, he'd declare it and go around killing us directly. That's just how he is. He's like our parents. Straightforward, stubborn, and won't accept anything that doesn't sit right with him. Not even God. If he had to die to prove Kaori Oribe innocent, he'd surely do it. That's not something that I, the only sly coward in the family, can do. Yoshitsugu is a human.
Hey!
Yoshitsugu-kun rose to his feet and howled at his brother.
Awoo!
No awoo!
Shit! You spent more time with Mom, she...
I do know! My cunning comes from my Higuchi blood. Mom has no reason to love me. She loves you way more. That's why I'm working so hard and studying so I can pay her back with money and other things. You should be more grateful that she loves you just because you were born honest, Yoshitsugu.
Why you bring yourself down so much? Zaniki, listen up, you!
Quiet, you two!
The mother's voice quickly silenced her son's.
Why are you fighting over such nonsense at a time like this? Kanzo Makishima-san.
The old man grunted in response to the mention of his name.
I heard that when my late husband, Sadayoshi Higuchi, died, there was a mist in Yasumizu. Did he die in a feast? Did you kill him?
He got killed by the wolves on the first day.
Old man?
I've been in 2 feasts. Only this old fart and I survived.
Best!
What about it?
Nothing. Even if you were the one who killed him, it was because of the feast. But know this, Yasunaga, Yoshitsugu. I don't want to lose my family to the feast ever again.
She's gonna die tonight. That's just how the narrative goes. Oh.
So please, work together. You are brothers, aren't you?
I didn't say I have anything against that.
Me neither.
Hey, sorry to bother you, but this really ain't the time for a family feud. The fact that the old man's been at a feast doesn't matter much. Right now, anyway. Kanzo-san clicked his tongue. I believe the Oribes. Yasu's the monkey, while Yoshi and Kaori-san aren't the type to lie. That makes it all but clear that Taiba-chan and Haru were humans, while the Journo lady was a wolf. We have 2 more wolves and 10 humans here. Out of them, the old man and Yasu are confirmed to be monkeys, and it's likely that Kaori-san is a crow. I trust Yoshi too, but it's not like we have any proof he's human, so I won't add him here. Okay, so we know, out of the people that we know that Kaori is the crow. Okay, we know, quote. And
It's pretty likely at this point. All the logic's solid.
Yeah, so we got the crow and the monkeys, and we know that Takumi is human. We've checked Kyonosuke-shi, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
he's
He's
human.
also human.
Yeah. So, oh fuck. Oh fuck.
No, Mochi is a wolf.
Chiemi's gonna be a wolf, isn't she? Oh no. That or the game's gonna take a really fucking dark turn, and it's gonna be Mako, and she's completely unaware of what she's doing. Ugh.
Did Mako
That
beat Haru to death that severely?
Oh god. Ugh. God.
Rolling pin.
Ugh. Oh god. Sucks. Shit sucks.
Fine by me.
Now, how do we proceed? If the still living, real snake has the right info, this feast might be as good as over. There it was.
What do you mean?
If the snake reveals himself and states that 2 more of us are human, there would be 6 confirmed humans, meaning we would have half of the votes. With those 6 being confirmed, it would unlikely that the rest would vote for the same person, meaning that victory would be as good as ours. Fixed majority. Exactly, and we would hang one of the 6 unknown, while the wolves would kill one of the 6 confirmed humans. Their primary target would be the snake, but it's likely that the spider is still alive. If he or she protects the snake tonight, we would have 1 less confirmed human and 1 less unknown, and gain another confirmed human or wolf tomorrow. It would either become 6 humans and 4 unknown, or 5 humans, 4 unknown, and 1 wolf. The confirmed humans would become a majority regardless. This number couldn't be turned around, so we would most certainly win.
Snake's gotta find 2 humans?
Even if he does find a wolf, we'll only have 5 we'll only have
Oh.
5 confirmed humans.
You
In that
see there,
case-
he slipped.
In that case, even if we hang the wolf, we'd still be left with 4 confirmed humans and 6 unknown. The humans' victory wouldn't be ensured. Of course, hanging a wolf would give us a great advantage, and if the snake comes out, the wolves wouldn't keep quiet either. Personally, I won't promise that I will certainly kill whoever reveals themselves. The snake's reveal could help bring certain things into the open. That was the opposite of Kanzo-san's approach. The old man clicked his tongue and some squirmed uncomfortably. But if the snake only looked into those who died, like Haru-chan, Yamawaki-san, and Mamiya-san, he or she should stay quiet. It is not impossible for that to be those to be the specific 2 that a player would have chosen. That's kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
But if that isn't the case, I would like the snake to reveal him or herself. I had to think. Was the info I had enough? I couldn't tell them that I'd used my looping to gather info. That was why I could only reveal 2 results. One for yesterday, and one for today. I'd already told Takumi-san that I'd checked and confirmed that he was a human. Thus, it was important for me to reveal that along with someone whose identity would help us. If I continued my silence, they might begin to believe that the snake wasn't fulfilling his duties properly. This was a do-or-die situation. Ah.
I say we go with saying who the humans are.
Mm-hmm.
Is that logic that he spelled out makes sense?
Yeah.
I feel like these are going to be longer paths, so we'll come back to do those later. Let's go with... It's revealed that Takumi and Kinosuke are humans.
All right.
Is that unanimous?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
From the ones still alive, I could declare that Kinosuke and Nosutoshi was a human. With me, him, and Takumi-san, we would have 3 more confirmed humans, completing the fixed majority Yasunaga-kun had talked about. For that, I had to believe that Kaori-san was the crow, but that seemed reasonable to me. After a bit of hesitation, I made my decision. I had to hurry. The wolves must have been conflicted right now. They had to be considering whether they could start faking before I spoke up. I had to declare it. Yes. My voice sounded stupid. I raised my hand. Yes!
Hi.
Why do they call it oven?
Yes.
When they oven the... Everyone looked at me. I was even more tense than I
What are
imagined.
you fucking talking about?
However, now that I'd spoken up, my hesitation was gone. I, Haruaki Fusaishi, am the snake. I made that as clear as possible. I investigated Kiyonosuke Nosuto-san and Takumi Muro-san. They're both humans. The reaction was strangely calm. There you go. It goes without saying, but I'm admitting that I'm human.
Same here. Why don't you keep quiet about this until now?
Like Yasunaga-kun said, completing the fixed majority requires 6 people. Normally, I would have needed to use my guardian once more. But then Mom suddenly revealed herself to be all but certainly a human, prompting you to act ahead of schedule, right? Yes. I do apologize for staying silent until now. People have died as a result. However, when Mamiya-san's declaration was such an obvious trap, I could no longer announce my role. I then gave them a mostly accurate summary of my intentions, similar to the one I gave to Takumi-san.
So that's why you said those things on the first day.
Yes. I mistimed some things, though, so I probably sounded a bit fishy. Anyway, that's all from me for now. Do you accept that, Kanzo-san? He still left the final call to Kanzo Makishima, and it was actually a good thing it was still like that. Though some people resisted him, he was well respected here. A split here could destroy the fixed majority.
You said something yesterday, didn't you? Something about having no special powers?
I knew he would go there. Like I just said, I couldn't reveal my identity until now.
Why?
What do you mean?
You ain't planning on dying. You ain't planning on dying.
I'm sure I told you that I couldn't die.
Don't there.
That was because I still had to fulfill my role as the snake.
We hang liars. Feast rules.
I didn't lie!
Yasun, why do liars get the news?
Humans search for the wolves under the assumption that humans don't lie, because that's something that wolves definitely do.
Exactly. It was a widespread situation where exposed lies lead to the discovery of the wolves, and humans are harmful to humans.
That's why I said I didn't have any special powers rather than I didn't have a guardian. After all, I don't have any superpowers, do I?
lying.
Fucking. I don't have any superpowers, do I?
Moriwaki-sama, your pants are on fire.
Yes, that's what I thought when I heard that. I figured your roundabout phrasing was implying something.
I don't believe that. He's an outsider. We don't know what he is, and he lied.
He said that Kyo and I are humans.
Wolves can do that too.
He wasn't wrong there. If I was a wolf that got comfortable in the human side like I was trying to do now, humans would be as good as dead. After all, I could investigate the other wolf and just say they were human, adding them to the confirmed human count. If I did that, in a few days we'd get in a situation where all the suspicious people were gone while the feast was still going on. This was a waste of time difficult to recover from. In a sense, the fate of the humans depended on whether they believed me or not. It was a huge gamble for them. But why? Why wasn't any wolf taking this chance?
So you're saying he's a wolf who is using Muru and I to survive? That's not impossible, but...
I shall believe him. He may hide things, but I do not believe he means any harm.
She was overestimating me, but at this point I appreciated it. Same here. My reason is that Fusaishi-san analyzed the feast with reasoning similar to mine, and is so far doing the logical thing for the sake of the humans. I appreciated that. It made me want to buy him a drink once he was old enough. I trust him too, old man.
Why?
Because I believe he ain't planning on dying. You're afraid that he might pick the wrong targets and we'd end up with a feast that's not ending when we got rid of all the wolves, right? If that happened, everyone would hang Fusaishi, right? He's an outsider. He's not gonna die for Yasumizu's sake. That's why he wouldn't say a lie that'd get him killed. It's also why he didn't come out when you said that all the snakes should be hanged. But the situation is different now, and now that he's out in the open, he's probably thinking he can even get the spider to protect him. Right, Fusaishi? Was he being honest? Or was he only saying that to make Kanzo-san more tolerant? Whatever the case, his analysis was correct. No comment. That was why I couldn't respond honestly. I couldn't lie or gather more antagonism than I already had. To my surprise, Kanzo-san chuckled. It sounded like a mocking laugh, though. Did this mean he now accepted I was just a cowardly outsider? If that was the case, he probably wouldn't lend an ear to any of my proposals. After all, I wouldn't give my life for Yasumizu.
I'll ask one thing then. Which of the 6 do we hang?
I didn't think about it yet. What about you, Kyo and Yasu? The two shook their heads. You got someone?
We're hanging Uematsu.
Sure, man. Because she voted for Taiba-chan? You suck, dude!
And because a lot of people were suspicious of her for being so emphatic about not voting for Mako.
Yeah, but, so like, she is
But
definitely
mostly
sus. But, like, also, dude! You're really, like, we know that you're a monkey, but you are being extremely unhelpful in a lot of ways. It's so frustrating. God!
I've been through this before, damn it. You youngins don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. Uematsu, you got something to say?
If necessary, I am willing to be hanged. I have not lived in Yasumizu for long. I never thought I would be trusted. However, there is one thing I can say.
I have the spider as the guardian.
No, you don't.
What?
So that was her play. But Rikuko-san, that was...
A spider? We should protect the first knight. Right. And no one died then. It would help to know that. The first night, I protected you, Kanzo Makishima-sama.
That does add up, given that he was the first one that they went for on the first loop. Obviously, they're different wolves, so they're gonna have slightly different reasonings, but that seems like a pretty solid choice on their part.
Yeah. Go for the head.
That made sense.
Sounds true to me. The old fart was pretty loud the first day. The wolves saw that too. And yesterday, I chose Yasunaga Oribe-sama.
Me? But I didn't do much yesterday.
In all honesty, I sincerely believed that Yasunaga Oribe-sama would make for a more valuable survivor than Makishima-sama. I believe that we shouldn't mistreat those who claim to have guardians.
Well, Takumi-san was choosing his words carefully. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me today? We couldn't shoot down all of Kanzo-san's suggestions. If he became too emotional, he could destroy our fixed majority. However, I was more or less certain that Rikoko-san was a human. I'd made a theory that she was using Mako, and just now she'd named herself the spider, rather than a snake. For me, all of those things made sense. So... Discord noise suppression ate, like, most of that, but that's good. What happened next was completely unexpected.
I'm also Spider.
Fuck off! We'd always thought that the old wolf guy and Mako wouldn't take part in the feast. Boy, were we wrong. After all, their only contributions were their votes, and it was hard to tell what they based their votes on. They were just two swing votes who were otherwise harmless and best left ignored. It wasn't that simple, though. Unlike last time, when we had exceptions like me, everyone here was participating in the feast the way they were supposed to. That was why everyone could have a guardian of some sort, even if they were too childish or senile to make good use of it. I'd been actually afraid that they would get and waste their guardians. I didn't expect him to come out as a second spider, however. Why him of all people? And why the spider?
Really?
Well, I'm from Utica, and I've never heard anyone use the phrase spider.
Spider.
Oimatsu?
Oh god, Jay was trying to tell us something that one time. Is that speech to text working out for you, Jay? Spider! It's so dumb.
I am the spider. The old man is lying.
You are the liar.
Old man, sorry about this, but I always assumed you to be senile and nothing else. Do you understand the current situation?
Huh?
Hey, was he like this in the previous feasts?
Always been like this. He was useless in the feasts.
Mochi, you're friends with him, right? What do you think?
Sorry, but I don't really understand others. You okay, Gold Man?
Oh god. Oh god, what if Mochi and the old man are the wolves?
So we were thinking yesterday, last stream, I think.
He's alright.
How troublesome.
Old fart, who'd you protect first and last night?
What?
Listen, our lives are on the line here. If you're just messing around...
I protect... that.
He ended the question by raising his finger, pointing at Yasunaga-kun. Me? On which day?
On both?
He responded with a smile. That'd mean the wolves went for Yasu first.
I believe I can understand it.
Hey, why him?
I hate you. I hate you. I want to beat you
hate
to
him.
death with a stick. I fucking hate you. Why did we get stuck in a feast with 2 useless players? Ah! It's so awful.
Yeah, and also
Specifically
Mako.
to make the player mad. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. And also Mako. Yeah, Haruaki's not doing shit. Fucking asshole.
Just because?
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't a good standard for deciding who to protect from death. What was this about, anyway? Wait. What could it be? The badger. What's wrong, Fusaishi? Remember when I told you that there might be a badger? Because there are badgers in prayer to Shinai and the shrine.
It's so minor. Don't you think it's a bit of a stretch to assume there would be humans who serve the wolves?
Well, in this situation, it doesn't really matter whether the badger exists or not. All that we know is that either Rikuko-san or the old wolf guy are lying. No arguments against that. Honestly, I thought they both were lying, but I more or less knew what Rikuko-san was going for. I have no fucking idea what the old man's doing. She was probably ordering and controlling Mako, the real spider, effectively making her the one who protected people. That was why the info she gave about how she used the power was correct. In a way, she was the spider's representative. The advantage of this method was that even if she died, the real spider would survive. Of course, Mako wouldn't have someone helping her make decisions if Rikuko-san died, limiting the Guardian's effectiveness. But even so, if the spider the wolves thought was dead was actually alive, it could turn the tides in the endgame. The spider was best kept hidden at all costs, but Rikuko-san revealed it so it'd draw the votes towards her. She used it for her own plan. I didn't know how accurate my assumption was, but it did seem like an effective course of action, though she probably didn't expect a sudden fake. It was day 3, and the fixed majority plan was becoming reality, yet no wolves came out as either snakes or crows. We all knew the dangers of the wolves taking the snake's role, while taking the crow would help them hide the amount of wolves still alive, giving them a path to victory. However, there was next to no point in pretending to be the spider. Even if you claimed to be the spider and said you would protect someone, then even if no one died, you could still be suspected of being a wolf fixing the game. However, there was an exception. It was effective in helping the wolves know who the badger was. It was probably true that Kanzo-san was the target the first day, but was stopped by Mako, who was ordered by Rikuko-san. That was why the wolves, who knew what they were aiming for that day, had recognized Rikuko-san as the real deal. They also understood that the old wolf guy was lying. That meant that, from the wolves' perspective, he was a human who just told a lie. It was too obvious. The wolves knew about the badger. The wolves and their ally needed to be proactive about lying. The old wolf guy defied that rule, letting the wolves know who he was. With Hisako Mamiya's death, they had lost a vote, but with this, they now had 3 again. Also, Kanzo-san was considering his opponent, Rikuko-san, as the next candidate for the hanging. In this situation, we had to make good use of the 6 confirmed humans and hang the lying spider. The easiest choice was to trust Kanzo-san's decision and vote for Rikuko-san. By gathering wolf, badger, and confirmed human votes, Rikuko-san would be sent to the tree. It was a chance for the wolves to kill the spider and make them think that the humans killed a wolf. This was really effective for them, and extremely dangerous for us. Even if the real spider, Mako, survived, it would be really difficult for me to talk about the badger and explain that Rikuko-san was a fake spider on their side. Yeah, I had to convince the human side that they should vote to hang the wolf guy instead. Was that really right, though?
Yes.
Yes. Indubitably. I had to think carefully. I only came to understand Rikuko-san's intentions because she told me to vote for her in a peculiar situation. I was assuming that both she and the wolf guy had some ulterior motives, but was that really right? Was the old guy even capable of that? He played with a pretty useless guardian. Maybe he'd only come out because he found it strange that another spider had named themselves? In fact, that was the most natural reaction, especially in the other's eyes. Same went for Rikako-san. From what I saw of her, she was more legend and harmony than intelligence. What if she was actually thinking that by protecting Mako, she would be considered a good guy and avoid gathering votes? What if her affection for me was all part of the plan, too? Crap, this was obviously the more responsible, or more reasonable line of thinking. Also, Rikako-san could have also been lying to get the wolves to let the wolves know something. Anyway, we had a relatively sane young woman going up against a completely senile man. No matter how you looked at it.
Uematsu, you're lying.
The choice was obvious.
No.
Why'd you say it now, then? You weren't supposed to hang you if you had to. This was after some votes went in.
Yes. Yes, I did say that.
Why you saying you have a guardian now you're about to be hanged?
Because I'm dumb as fuck. She fell silent. I couldn't tell whether it was a silence to protect Mako or just an awkward silence because he pointed out a harsh truth.
It's obvious.
What about you people?
I am leaving my vote to Yasunaga. That will make it easier for you to believe me, won't it?
Yeah, that's fine. Kyo, you?
Rikako-san, are you really the spider?
Yes, Nosuto-sama. That much is certain.
You are bad at lying, you dumb bitch. You have your heart in the right place, but you stupid as fuck.
Both are lying if you ask me.
Kamishita, you've got nothing better to say than shut up.
Nature.
Don't worry. I will protect you.
Isn't this weird? It's not fair. Rikako-san went through a lot of bad-mouthing here in Yasumizu, but fought through it for our sake. Why did it flip upside down just because of the old guy's words? Why'd he even say it?
Jimmy.
Someone might have told him to say that, and it might be that Rikako-san's going through some inner struggle. We don't know what's true. We can't just whip up an answer and simply kill someone like that. It's dangerous.
I know, but in the end, it's either you believe or you don't. Usaishi, what do you think? Oh god. What was I to do? How was I to approach this? Oh no!
Oh.
It's not our turn to vote yet.
What's your guys' opinion?
Because it's so clearly obvious that the wolf guy is the liar here. We know what he goes up to. I feel like that's that's a trap choice, and voting for Rikako is going to be like some galaxy brain move to save her, or it's just a dumb trap and I'm overthinking this.
Let's save and find out.
Yeah, I'm thinking along the exact same lines as Dragoni.
Doubting others was essentially my creed. That's because I believed it was more logical to trust only myself and take responsibility for the outcome over bearing the risk of trusting others. When I came back to that rule, it was trusting Rikako-san as openly as I had so far was the exception for me. It made more sense to doubt her, and so I said
Okay, so yeah, no, this is dumb.
I can't say that I trust Rikako-san at this point in time.
Take the vote.
Please wait! I'll use my guardian to investigate which one of them is telling the truth today. So please wait for today.
Then who are we supposed to kill, eh? Me, Kamishita, or Chiane?
You trying to kill me, Hassan?
I mean, I know what we want to do, because we, as a time traveler, know which one is the wolf, but but we can't really say that.
Haruaki-san? You're kidding, right?
It is all right, Haruaki-sama.
No, it isn't.
Hey, what's going on? What's Mikko-san trying to do?
We don't need any wannabe martyrs.
It's all right. Just as everyone says, I am suspicious. I am a human. But if you hang me, you are sure to defeat the wolves. If I can no longer serve the people of Yasumizu, then my departure from the stage shall be my final service to Yasumizu.
Rikuko-san! Usaishi!
Okay, now I feel really bad.
Takumi-san shouted louder than ever before, shutting me up. If you wanted to help that woman, you should have trusted her. Her fate was sealed the moment you failed to do that. No. By not saying that, you implied her survival wasn't necessary for the humans to achieve victory. At least, you didn't believe it was. No. The moment you couldn't deny that was the moment your choice was made. So settle this like a man. Damn it. I'd never been more resentful of my adherence to my rules than I was now. I propose we hang Rikuko Uematsu-san.
Very well.
Rikuko-san smiled. Why couldn't I just trust her? Womp womp.
Okay, yeah, Dragoni and I definitely overthink this.
Yeah. Overthink?
Yep.
Why would we want to
No,
hang her in the romance route where she's the focal point? Like,
I thought it was gonna be some like Galaxy Brain. Oh, if we say we don't trust her, we sway the votes against her because people don't trust us or some bullshit. I don't know.
I get that. I totally get that. But also, like, god damn it. That's a stupid decision. Oh. Anyway.
No rope shall be necessary. As an Oematsu, and the watchmen of Fujiyoshi's purification and corruption, I shall bring about my own end, with no shame to display.
She said it. Rikuko-san led her own funeral procession. With a sonorous voice, she sung prayer to Shinai. She bowed to the Okiba along the way as she recited prayers and sutras. No one rebuked her, for they all understood her actions were the manifestation of her faith, for she was right. And then we reached the cliff at the hanging pine overlooking the misty Saranaga. Rikuko-san turned away from us, faced the cliff, and chanted sutras.
We lay ourselves down before he who dwells in the mountain. By boon of his protection are the corrupt returned to ash. The sealing of the gate to Yomi brings prosperity again. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass.
Her words were directed at no one. They merely faded into the mist. She clapped her hands, held them over her head, and bowed. It was similar to a Yasumizu bow, but felt more right than that. Rikuko-san looked back.
Farewell.
And spoke only those words.
Oh, Nei-chan.
She paid no heed to the only voice that called out to her. Her black sleeves fluttered, and she threw herself into the mist. After several seconds, we heard a crunching noise from down below.
Listen.
Chiemi covered Mako's ears. The little girl started to cry.
You. This is all your fault. If you hadn't said that. No. That's all wrong. This is all. What? Why? How did we let this happen?
He left while muttering to himself. Nozoto-san! Leave him be. He's still a man. A woman's death hurts. Let's go back. We returned to the dining hall, but all of us were caught up in depression. There's barely anyone who wasn't feeling the loss of Tai-san, Haru-chan, and Rikuko-san in any way. I can think of at least one person who doesn't seem to care that much. excluding the old man. We didn't know if we could expect all that much from him as the spider. Meiko had cried herself to sleep and had been left in her place, while Kinosuke had returned to his mansion. Takumi-san and Kanzo-san were busy cleaning up Haru-chan. Aside from them, everyone else was here.
I'll make something to cheer us all up.
Kaori-san said that with forced enthusiasm. Since her sons were still alive, she was probably in a relatively better mood than the rest of us. Incidentally, I'd stopped helping with the cleanups in the kitchen. They said it was because they couldn't put the snake at risk out in the mist, but they were also probably being cautious of me. So I just sat by myself. Chiyomi was talking to the boys, showing her own consideration for them to lift her spirits. It seemed she had no intention of talking to the old wolf guy.
Haruaki-sama, may we talk?
The woman who always wanted to talk was gone. Before long, Kaori-san had finished making the food. Takumi-san and Kanzo-san returned from the cleanup, and we finally had our first meal of the day.
I imagine that you are tired. Please, eat as much as you want.
Thank you. The fact that I checked my bowl for something green made me realize how ill-natured I really was. Unfortunately, that was just how I was, so I would at least keep up my mask and effectively give them conscience of my own kind. I sat down, put my hands together, picked up the chopsticks, and ate the rice gruel. Like always, it was simple, beastly, yet still good. I only felt that something was wrong with it a bit later.
Uh-oh.
At first, I just thought that I burned my mouth or something. But suddenly, I couldn't feel my mouth at all, and after an unnatural sensation that overwhelmed my tongue and cheeks, I lost my sense of direction. My body twisted, and right as a dull pain went through my head, I fell to the floor. I'd been poisoned. I could understand that clearly, but all my processing power went into dealing with the unnatural feeling attacking my body. I couldn't see properly. I couldn't breathe or speak. Despite that, I still had a burning pain in my mouth and an urge to vomit, along with unbearable agony. I couldn't understand what was happening around me. It was probably pure chaos, but I was struggling to even breathe. And it was only getting worse. A sudden, intense impact hit my back. My body jumped, and then I puked.
Usaishi!
My breathing stabilized for a moment, and I could hear a voice, as well as something. A wet floor in my own hands. However, the nausea didn't end. The spasms made me feel like my chest was turning inside out, and I soon puked again. I was beyond help. I would die in just a few minutes. Didn't I get this ending before? Hang on. How long ago was that? I didn't even process that.
Oh, that was when Rikako was still walking toward the cliff.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I would die in just a few minutes. Once I understood and accepted that, I found myself able to think a little clearer. This was a gamble the wolves had taken. They'd killed outside of the feast. They were prepared to face the corruption. They'd poisoned the food. By doing so, they could get rid of me or someone else.
It wasn't me!
And they could frame the crime on Kaori-san, the chef. They could also destroy the fixed majority comprising of Takumi-san, Kanzo-san, Ionosuke, Kaori-san, and I. By sacrificing one of the remaining wolves, they'd gain a big reward. I see. So the wolves were that serious. I'd been given a lethal dose of poison. There wasn't any hope for me at all, was there? How would I get past this? Hey, Rikuko-san, this is a horrible thing to ask. But you wouldn't happen to know, would you? Just before my consciousness faded into the mist, I saw a hallucination of Rikuko-san looking down on me with a sad smile. Game over.
Womp womp.
We deserved that.
Yeah. We kind of threw our ally under the bus there. That was fucking...
For no real reason.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time in a while you've done it now for simple reasons, Chief. What? You don't think it's simple? Oh, I see. It's only simple if you know how the story's supposed to go. Okay, then I'll give you a hint. Bad ending 18. Poisoned by wolfsbane death. Study how you were poisoned is an essential point of wit. Look forward to the climax. Now, you might be wondering how to avoid this, but you actually can't. The solution is getting treated.
Huh.
How do you do that, you ask? Just look at the scenario chart and you should figure out where it branches. If someone who was dead here was still alive at this point, maybe things would have been different.
Wow. Thanks.
You spell this out for us, will you?
I imagine it assumes it has to because we did something so monumentally stupid.
Yeah.
So go back to voting too and pick the other choice.
How intelligent.
Another Hardy death next time.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbass. Fucking moron. Idiot. Piss man.
Anyway, that's yet another tally under Don't Trust Mushroom.
Alright, what was the thing here?
So that one there is whether we stay with the snake and pick Mochi or just stay quiet.
Do we want to see what these are before we go and vote for the old wolf man?
I guess.
Might as well. If we want to explore every bad ending, yeah, it doesn't matter when we go for it.
Let's see what happens when we don't say shit.
No, not yet. I didn't have enough evidence to secure the fixed majority. All I'd confirmed through my investigations as the snake up to today was that Takumi-san was a human.
Straight up wrong information.
Yeah. Well, so this is the one that you would pick if you didn't have any of the other keys and you had only investigated Mamiya and Haru.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to investigate Takumi at some point.
Well,
Yeah,
right.
you have to do it to get there at this point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get brained with a hoe.
Yeah. It was all the information I could offer. Like Yasunaka-kun had said, this was a situation where the reward for revealing you had a guardian didn't match the risk. I hadn't even predicted Kaori-san would reveal she had a guardian. I thought it'd happen a little bit after we secured the fixed majority. It seems the snake still lacks decisive proof. Takumi-san shot me a glance. At first, he looked confused or somewhat annoyed that I wasn't saying anything, but it seemed he soon caught on. It's still too early.
Perhaps the snake truly is dead.
That shouldn't be the case, but we can't be sure. Let's think about this. In the end, no one else revealed themselves to have a guardian, and we reached a stalemate. With Kaori-san's reveal, we now had 3 confirmed humans. Then again, I couldn't be completely sure she was telling the truth. I knew that Takumi-san and I were humans, but even when you included us, damn it, it wasn't enough. I didn't have any more clues.
Enough. Let's vote already.
Is there anyone else who can do something? Though Kanzo-san's word wasn't final, without a valid plan hammered out, a melee couldn't be avoided in the end.
You! Yes, you!
Just like the first day, the old wolf guy voted for me.
I'm voting for you.
2 votes. Guess that wasn't surprising. The clash between Mamiya-san and Tai-san may have temporarily distracted him, but he'd always been suspicious of me. I'm going with Meiko again. Though I'd managed to change things by cooperating with Takumi-san, this wasn't good.
I'll vote for Uematsu-san.
I'll vote for the Mako girl.
Meiko and I now had 2 votes each. For the old wolf guy.
I'm going with Hassan.
Crap, now I was in the lead.
I'm going with Fusaishi too. Looking for a gun, I said all that crap and ran off on the first day.
4 votes, not good.
I'll vote for Mako-chan.
I shall vote for the Yasumizu Elder.
Meiko had 3 votes, while the old wolf guy had 2. At this rate, all I could do was... Meiko-chan.
Nah.
Looks like you and me are gonna die soon. It all rides on your shoulders.
Hey, you can't tell her stuff. It's against the rules.
She's 3! No, it isn't. Mako-chan, first, come up with a way not to die, then think about who you want to be useful to.
Even if it's not in the rules, I cannot approve of trying to forcibly sway a child's opinion.
But... Wait, we can't let ourselves get swayed by the whims of a kid.
Miko, if you do not vote for the Yasumiza elder, that man will die.
You bitch!
Then I'll vote for him.
Yoshi-kun, don't bother. Mako-chan's in a pretty tight spot herself.
But Jine!
I vote for the old wolf man. Then it's a final vote. Thus, everyone else voted on whether to hang the old wolf guy or I. In the end, the vote was 4-6. I was chosen.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the funeral procession of the prayer to Shinai. As the hapless lynch victim this time. I couldn't say this scenario had never crossed my mind, but it was still unexpected. The final vote should have been in my favor. I'd thought I could count on Takumi-san, Kaori-san, Kinosuke-shi, and Chiemi, the 4 who'd voted for Mako and Rikuko-san. But when the results came in, all of them except for Takumi-san had voted for me. None of them looked me in the eye. I didn't bother snapping back at them either. Now I understood. If I kept quiet, even those I was close to would doubt me. That was just how suspect my conduct on the first day had been. That was just how impossible a hurdle Kanzo-san's request for me to die had been. I didn't like it, but all I could think about was how to survive next time.
I am sorry. I truly am sorry, Haruaki-sama.
Hey, you've got nothing to apologize for. Hanging in the feast is supposed to lead to salvation, right? And I'm happy. Don't you remember? I originally came here to die.
You are not supposed to die here. Why did you not flee?
The way she said that in a voice only I could hear was so different from her normal self that I was startled. Mikako-san?
I am sorry.
Rikuko-san. This way.
No, please. Let me push him.
I would
If
be
I can't
honored.
save you, I'll kill you myself.
I would be honored, Rikuko Uematsu-san.
Haruaki-san!
Chiemi looked at me with a teary visage.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't trust you to the end.
Jine, you don't need to apologize for anything.
Sorry, but... Sorry.
It's alright, Chiemi-chan. I won't hold a grudge. Honestly, I'd definitely be irritated about having to return to the start all over again. Still, I decided to play the good guy this time around. With this hanging, I feel like I've finally become a member of Yasumiza. Don't be a dumbass! I could hear guilt in his voice. Are you really okay with this? You're really going to just die without saying a word? Yes, I am. Not like that would do me any good. No one would believe me if I revealed my guardian now. Besides, if I died, none of this would ever have happened. The lynching would have terrified me if I didn't think of it that way. Death abruptly handed to you what was slightly different from death. Death abruptly handed to you was slightly different from death in a fight you'd accepted. Multiple people's malice and apathy denied my existence by judging me less important than others, and so a consensus of those emotions sentenced me to death. To the creatures known as humans, who survived through their bonds, that despair surpassed that of simply being killed. I was experiencing such an easily imaginable scenario myself at that moment.
Get it over with.
Hurry up!
Soar, Hassan!
You guys. Rikako-san lowered her head
Rise not.
and muttered feebly.
Too bad I'm gonna.
Rise not. Don't come back. As the Yomibito and our enemy don't come back.
Well, too bad. I'm coming back.
She pushed me weakly with the force of a gentle breeze. I fell backwards, soared through the air, and fell. And with a sudden impact, my consciousness faded into a void not unlike the dense mist surrounding me. Dead.
Womp womp.
And now, hey Chief, this was a hard one. Was anyone able to avoid it?
Not
Yes.
that hard.
Up your head, chin up.
The hint is, don't completely ignore your power.
Bad ending 16. Information deficiency death. This was the only choice you could make. That means all the people you investigated and got the keys from are dead. Right, that's what's important here. By investigating someone in the face with the power of the snake, Naruki Fusaishi obtains that information as keys. However, there's some truth to the XXX keys that have nothing to do with advancing the story. In this case, having 2 keys for the dead proved to be pointless. Of course, it's not pointless if you're aiming to get all the keys, but you need to find useful keys to progress here. To get the keys, you first have to go back to Investigation 1 or Investigation 2. If you already have the keys, just go back to Declare Guardian. That's all for this time.
Go die again.
You
Alright. Well, that was pleasant.
Yay!
We got Piss Man killed again. Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Alright. Do we want to go and do the other one in that option there, or do we want to just do the obvious choice and vote for the Wolfman?
If we did the one wrong choice, we might as well do the other one.
Yeah, fuck it.
Unless it turns out to not be the wrong choice.
Alright. Takumi is human, and Shikamochi is a wolf. I had the evidence to reveal myself. I had a safety plan all set up. However, I also knew it was a ticking bomb that would likely throw things into chaos. Still, I'd already made up my mind, so I couldn't hesitate. Yes. Everyone looked to me when I raised my hand. I was nervous, but now that I'd spoken up, all that was left was to go with the flow. Ooh, hang on. I, Haruaki Fusaishi, am the snake. I informed them without hesitation. I investigated Takumi Muro-san and Shikamochi Kamoshida-kun. Takumi Muro-san is a human, and Shikamochi Kamoshida-kun is a wolf. What was that? Mochi's a wolf. Everyone fell silent for a moment. Naturally, there was much commotion and chaos over my sudden announcement.
Wait, Shikamochi's a wolf? That's not impossible, but why did you investigate him?
Besides, didn't you already say you didn't have a guardian?
I didn't say anything back then because there was a high probability I would have been killed if I'd revealed myself. Obviously, I knew Mamiya-san was lying about being the snake, but none of you would have had any idea. If we'd both survived, the spider wouldn't know which of us to protect, so I couldn't guarantee my safety. If I had said something, the wolves would have had the perfect opportunity to find and kill the real snake.
Oh, I see.
Take this seriously, Mochi! Don't you get it? You're being accused of being a wolf!
That's true. Probably because I already know I'm not a wolf. Which means that Hassan would be the real wolf here, I guess.
I suppose that idea makes sense. But if Mamiya-san was a wolf, would another wolf really try to play a snake again?
We still don't know if the journal lady was a wolf.
Kanzo-san tried fighting back.
can't tell with these city folk. Well, she was a wolf or whatever. Maybe she went out wanting to die.
Shall I take that as a sign of support for Chikamochi Kamoshida?
Hmm.
His silence was not primarily out of doubt for me, but just the same old habit of his. I believe I was asked why I looked into him. The reason is because he wasn't acting like himself. He's normally sharper than this, and not the type who keeps quiet about his ideas. Yet this time, he's chosen his words quite carefully, almost like he's saying he can't act on his intuition.
This time?
Huh? You talk like you've seen me do that before.
See, this was exactly the part of him that scared me. That was merely my opinion and the observation that led me to investigate you. That's all. Please don't read too deeply into it.
I will. If you've known about us for a while, maybe you're a spy or something sent by the village head.
There's also your odd tendency to be aggressive toward just me that caused me to suspect you. Like, just now. I took a peek at everyone's faces. Yasunaga-kun was staring at the ground, lost in thought. Takumi-san was bewildered, as he should be. Fusaishi, are you saying Chikamochi killed Haru? Hanzo-san's eyes widened. Apparently, he'd finally understood that a suspected wolf could be the one who'd killed his granddaughter. Yes, that would be the case.
As if. I care about Haru-chan and Yasun more than anything else. Sorry to reach out on the others, but I really don't care about Shinai-san, the rules, or the feast. So how could someone like that kill Haru-chan?
If you truly are mad, then you have... If you truly are mad, then you have motive enough. After all, mad people can treasure their loved ones whether they're alive or dead. It makes no difference to them.
You're really not explaining well, dude.
No.
True.
Cut it out, Mochi! Did you really?
This is a pain. Hey, Hassan, I'm no good with this kind of stuff, so go a little easy on me, will ya?
Sorry, but I can't let my guard down around you. I've learned well over the past few days that your brain is on a different wavelength from everyone else's.
Yasukun, don't we have any proof Mochi didn't do it?
You should have already realized it, but no, I don't. Don't you have anything, Mochi?
Sorry, I didn't plan that far ahead. But do you really want to suspect me?
Chikamochi-kun does seem to be acting the same as always.
Even if he was given the role of a wolf, I can easily see him maintaining his presence of mind.
And his stance is essentially to not think for himself. He's just followed Yasunaga-kun and voted for Nosuto-san each time so far. Fortunately for him, his disposition wasn't suspected, but I actually think it was a pretty cunning way to act. So long as someone Yasunaga-kun didn't want to view as an enemy was a wolf, that wolf could stay safe by following his lead. Yasunaga-kun is a monkey, and therefore definitely a human. To leave the vote to him is the same thing as having a wolf give up their vote entirely. But if Chikamochi Kamoshida were to stay that way, only to suddenly vote for someone else, we'd just dismiss it as him acting on a whim. In the end, he was in a position where he could vote freely without attracting suspicion.
God, you're relentless. I don't really have anything to say, so staying quiet makes me look fishy.
But that's just the Feast of the Yomi Purge.
And why not just hang me?
Mochi, please, say something. Anything. Tell us you're not a wolf.
I'm not a wolf.
Look at me.
Oh, come on, Yasun. You know I'm not the type who looks others in the eye when talking.
This child is clearly autistic, but
Oh, absolutely.
but he also definitely has murderous intent.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
I don't even look at other people, he said with a smile. The vote was held afterwards. Yasunaga-kun abstained from voting. Chiemi, Kaori-san, Kanzo-san, and Mochi all voted for me, while the rest voted for Mochi, sealing his fate.
Hey, Yasun. Don't cry.
I'm sorry, Mochi. I'm sorry I couldn't save you.
Hey, no need to be sorry. I've done some bad things.
does that mean?
I'm not a wolf. I just didn't have what it took to beat Hassan.
Don't leave me. Without you or Haru-chan, I'll be all alone.
You got Mami Kaori and Yoshi, don't you?
When it comes to them, No. Get it.
What, do you want to kiss or something?
Cut it out, idiot.
Heh. Sorry, these are my last moments, and I still don't know what to do in times like these. Okay, do it, Yasun.
Rise not.
Rise not.
Yasunaga-kun pushed forward. Chikamochi Kamoshida fell into the mist, and the rope went taut.
Mochi.
Everyone stood there frozen in place while I headed for the plaza. I felt sick.
We
Hey,
are not gonna forgive him for this.
hey, Fusaishi. Takumi-san caught up with me. He really was a wolf, wasn't he? No doubt about it. But, yes, he died as a human to the very end. I kept getting the urge to tell him to quit playing the victim and glorifying this. I wanted to tell Yasunaga-kun that this was the guy who'd killed the girl who was like his own sister and smiled like nothing was wrong. But what good would that have done me? It'd probably be Mamiya-san all over again. The shock Yasunaga-kun will feel when all is revealed will be unfathomable. But there was nothing else I could do. Sounds like you're really fretting over this. Sorry. Don't be. I'm a member of Yasumizu too. I will fulfill my duties as the snake while bearing the responsibility of Mochi's death to the very end. Thanks. It was good I'd gotten Takumi-san on my side, but as a whole, it didn't feel like any of this had gone well. It left a really bad taste in my mouth. After that, I lost my job at the kitchen. Well, I hadn't exactly lost it, but since Kaori-san had voted for me, I was restraining myself. Yoshitsugu-kun took over the work while I secluded myself in my hut. It was Takumi-san who'd suggested it. He said it was best I watched out for any potential attacks now that it was out that I was the snake. He also took over testing the food for poison. I remembered what he said. If the spider is still active, I've said they should protect you. If you're telling the truth, then there's just one wolf left. I want to settle this as quickly as possible. So I told him I'd do everything I could. It felt like Takumi-san and I had grown rather close. And no, not in the way that would make
Wow.
Excuse me.
I'm not even dignifying that with a read. I gratefully took my food and was happy to get away from the melancholy atmosphere that lingered after Mochi's death. Takumi-san was right. Just one wolf was left. And from my point of view, I had 5 candidates left. One day may not have been enough to corner them. Did I have any ways to ensure I could end it tomorrow? No. This was a problem. For now, I'd investigate who I considered the most suspect. As long as the spider protected me, the rest would be a war of attrition. In that case, I had to aim to end it tomorrow. However, I never woke up after that night. Why? What had happened to me? I didn't even know. I felt not even the slightest bit of pain or suffering in my deep slumber. But like the dense mist outside, my sleep appeared to have engulfed everything and become a shroud not of this world. Did the spider not protect me? In the end, the loser wasn't even allowed to entertain that thought. Game over. Dumbass. It's not necessary to watch the hint corner, but I feel like having someone tell Haruaki straight up how much of an idiot he is every time is so good.
It also gives me a character to voice.
After most of your characters have died.
Then now, hey, Chief. What was up with this one? It was a rather mysterious bad ending. What would be a precise counter strategy? Bad ending 17. Mysterious Mochi hanged dead. Honestly, I don't know what happened. Not yet, anyway.
I got no fucking clue, man.
What I can say is that it didn't seem like you were killed by a wolf. Spider should have been protecting you and all. We'll be well out until this mystery is solved, so try a different choice for now. Oh? Choice is locked? You don't have key 11? Go to either Investigation 1 or Investigation 2. Got the keys, then go back to Declare Guardian and pick the right choice. Honestly, this one might be the biggest roadblock in Raging Loop. Just don't worry, got it. And just press on.
Dumbass. Idiot. Dumbass.
Can't even tell you why you're a dumbass this time.
Yeah, because, like, okay, so, like, it makes sense. It's like, if those were the only keys you had and you just went for those, then it would make, and then, like, it would make sense as to why that is the way that it is, but, like, still.
I feel like these endings weren't designed for us going back and doing every choice.
Entering the village. Oh, man. Nice officer. We got 5,
All right,
6,
now let's
and
go kill the old crazy guy.
All right. Actually, what was the choice here? Yeah, we don't have those. So, all right. Yeah, this game, despite some of the linear or some of the multiple paths, a lot of the choices are ultimately the game is still fairly linear.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but it is. I personally, I love the way that it's handled when it comes to the first snake investigation, where it's like you'd think that would be like a major branching path, but then Mamiya comes out and claims to be the snake, and it's like, oh fuck, okay, now I understand.
Well, then it does come back later, which I do appreciate. It's not
Yeah.
all just in the moment stuff.
Yeah. Vote for the old wolf guy. This would be a gamble. I had to remove the unpredictability and simply play the odds. I would have to rely on common sense, or by the first impressions I had. Or maybe I would just believe Rikako-san. I believe that the old wolf man is lying. Your proof is... It can have to be true as long as everyone was won over. No. The feast was a game where people hunted lies. I couldn't let my eloquence alone do the talking. I needed truth. Did I have to talk about Mako then? No. That would make me simply unforgivable. Then... It actually doesn't matter which one we hang. I would play the role presented to me. That was the only way for me to gain their trust. What do you mean? If I die tonight, it would be proof that I was the snake and that Takumi-san and Nosato are humans. We're hanging someone today, so that'll leave 10 people, 5 of which would be confirmed humans. However, Kaori-san was just a self-proclaimed one. Even so, the remaining 5 wouldn't be able to get enough votes on her. Right, Yoshitsugu-kun?
Yeah. I'm not voting for Mom.
Then the 5 confirmed humans would win the votes. They would have the fixed majority. Well, we still need insurance that Yoshitsugu-kun won't betray us, but in the end, that too is just about whether you trust him or not.
I ain't betraying anybody.
I will leave the decision to the rest of you. On the other hand, if I didn't die, those of you who couldn't trust me would be worried. But if I survive, I would use my guardian to look into the most shady person among the 5 unknowns. If it's a wolf, we hang them, and if it's a human, we add them to the confirmed list and hang one of the 4 unknowns. Even if I die then, there would be 5 confirmed humans and 3 unknowns, and Kaori-san could tell you how many wolves there were left. Even if worst comes to worst, and all three end up hanging, the humans will still win. Someone from Yasumizu would survive. Then, no matter when I died, it only increased the number of confirmed humans with no drawbacks. Human victory would be certain. But what if I keep surviving? I understand why you would be curious about that. That's why I promised to exterminate the wolves by the day after tomorrow at worst. That was an impactful line. I could see and hear them gasp. Felt good, but I didn't show it. If I fail, you can hang me right then. Even if I was a wolf, you would still have time to find the last one. So as things are, the humans have the advantage no matter what, so it doesn't matter which one of them you hang. However, I don't believe we should leave the old man. Personally, I can't even tell if he's sane, senile, or just malicious.
Haruaki-san?
Also, it's likely that Rikako-san would soon be taken out by the wolves. The true spider is a real threat, after all.
Indeed. I am prepared.
Let us continue with that. And if it doesn't work, you can hang both of us. That should give you peace of mind. But if you leave the old man who doesn't take responsibility for his words and actions, there will always be an element of uncertainty. That's why I believe he should be hanged. That will make the path to victory clearer. And another thing. I think she is the real deal, and I have a minor detail that makes me inclined to believe her. It's not very substantial though, so I'm keeping it to myself for now. But just as Takumi-san said, I don't plan to die yet. I'm expecting Rikako-san to put her life on the line to protect me, so this is my decision. I truly am this cowardly, but since I am the snake, I will go through with this strategy. The fact that I'm putting my future life on the line is proof of the only sincerity I, a person with no one who trusts or supports me, can give. Please believe me. That is all. Yasu, Kyo, what do you think? Takumi-san instantly asked that. I will believe him. I thought he was the snake right from the start, though he turned out to be a lot more heartless than I expected.
Yes, I will believe him as well. Above all else, that would prevent Rikiko-san's hanging.
Kaori-san?
Yes, I am entrusting my vote to Yasunaga.
Old man? This was the moment of truth. You...
Not believe in him.
We are kind of talking out of our ass here.
Mm-hmm.
Thought as much.
There's gotta be holes all over his reasoning. We got no way to make him take responsibility if we're caught in him. I'll believe myself instead and kill Uematsu, who voted for Taiba.
The fixed majority will fail then. Old man. But Takumi-san did something unexpected. Please give me your vote. He lowered his hands and forehead on the floor.
Takumi-chan.
Like I said, I believe the guy, but I don't trust his humanity. He ain't a good guy and would probably give us loads of trouble if he was our enemy. But being a bad guy doesn't mean you become a wolf. Those things aren't related. Listening to his words made me realize that he was serious. That's why I'll believe him. I know it's a bit complicated for you, but that's why I want you to trust me, as someone you've known for 30 years. If you do, I'll promise to kill both Fusashi and Uematsu the moment we find out they're liars. I don't even care that the corruption will come for me. That's my promise. He did the same as me. Bet his life on his words. Please. He even gave his honor.
Takumi, you dumbass.
Old man.
You gotta clean up when the feast's over. I got nothing left. I'll take the corruption with me all the way to Yomi. Hey, Usaishi,
Yes?
you better prepare yourself. I still think you're guilty of Taiba's death.
We definitely are.
If you can't make up for that as a snake, I'll skin you alive.
I gulped. I was being glared at by an old hunter who was no stranger to death.
You too, Uematsu.
I am prepared.
Tally the votes. Your turn, old fart. Why are we still on the wall visual? Okay, there we go.
Without an expression or a word, he pointed at me.
Old guy.
1 vote. Old wolf guy. 2 votes.
The old fellow.
3 votes.
Yasumizu's elder.
4 votes. One for the wolf man. 5 votes.
It's all are confirmed are kind of sitting next to each other. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Old guy. Yoshi-kun, are you voting for him too?
Yeah.
Then it's settled. I'll do the same then. Sorry.
Kamoshida-sama.
1 for the wolf guy.
1 for Haruaki-san.
Wow.
Yeah, me.
Jine, that seems...
I mean, I just don't get it.
Shit.
I
Sorry.
don't want Rikako-san to die either, but... It's possible that the old man said that just because he's senile. Why is no one pointing that out? Why isn't Haruaki-san saying that?
I said it doesn't matter, did I? Didn't I?
You can't predict Mako-chan's votes either, can you?
If they're both suspicious, I would prefer the old man to become the sacrifice instead of the little girl. It's the reasonable approach.
Yeah,
That's enough. Rikako-san.
or the old fellow.
The old man.
For the old man.
Bring the rope.
I need time.
Shut it!
Kanzo-san suddenly punched the guy.
Jesus.
I'll think of myself. Rest of you go back.
He quickly tied up the wolf guy and pulled him off into the mist. His voice was strangely subdued, but I could feel intense emotion behind it. None of us knew what made him like that, so we all just sat, paralyzed. Old man, what's gotten into you? The one to move first was Takumi-san. Makishima-san!
What's up with him?
By the time I went outside, Takumi-san was already disappearing into the mist. Takumi-san! Fusaishi, you stay there! Yoshi, hold him back!
Huh? Alright.
Why? I don't know, but you're the most important human right now. You gotta stay safe, just in case. Just in case. Oh yeah. The last time when the wolf guy was gonna be lynched, it led to some unexplained murders. Takumi-san, don't go!
Kanzo wasn't around back then.
I shouted that. You're necessary for us to win the feast! There was no response. Even his footsteps were vanishing into the mist.
What do you believe will happen?
Felt my heart jump. I turned around and saw nothing besides Yoshitsugu-kun, who was wearing a suspicious scowl.
What do you believe will happen? What? Let's just go. Do the old fart attacking my knee.
But...
Think about how it looked if you disappear on your own.
He had a point. They only trusted me because Takumi-san was vouching for me. Alright. Let's just go back to the dining hall. My worries were for nothing, and in about half an hour we were joined by both Takumi-san and Kanzo-san. Their expressions were grim, but implied nothing specific. Where's the old man?
Hanged.
He sat down on the seat closest to the entrance. Takumi-ni. I didn't see it. But you know old man Kanzo. He ain't lying. With that, today's feast had ended. Everyone sighed quietly in relief. There must have been some of the wolves' depression in that. After all, from my perspective, we were just one step away from victory. However, this step would be one that was very hard to take. How easy would it be if I died, and it all ended then? However, it would once again be pointless. Until I solved why death hadn't come for me, I remained afraid of this unexplained phenomenon. Until I solved the mystery and escaped this loop, I would see many tragedies, fight against fear, and keep seeing many bad endings. A part of me hoped that winning the feast would end it, but if it didn't, I would have no clue where the core of this mystery was. Was this mystery even solvable? Could I cling to my own sanity until then? I remained uneasy. After a bit of rest,
character design.
yeah. After a bit of rest, we had tons of things to do. We've been going for 3 hours now.
Oh shit, yeah. This
I'm gonna
this part seems like a decent time to stop.
Yeah.
There's no telling how long the rest of the day will go.
Yeah.
Especially as we know there's going to be that poisoning thing happening.
Yeah. There's just something that I know that comes up soon that I don't know if I want to... Well, not start with. It'll still be a while until we get to it regardless. I don't know. That said, there's... I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts right now about where the story's going at this point?
I mean, we're doing pretty good this time around.
Yeah.
Well, something goes horribly, horribly wrong. Which is always good.
Wait. Speaking of horribly, horribly wrong, who's left that we don't know the identity of?
Chiemi?
Chiemi, Yoshitsugu, and then I guess
technically we
Rikiko
don't
technically
know what Mako is, but like she's the spider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Rikiko is likewise could be. She's not confirmed, but
it's extremely unlikely
it was
that she's
6
anything
and
but.
6, right? That they were saying it was that the unconfirmed 6 would be Chiemi,
yeah,
Chikamochi,
Yasu,
Yoshitsugu.
Who we know is a wolf.
Yeah, yeah, we do, but the characters down.
Yeah.
Rikiko, Mako, and the old guy.
So, if the old guy was also a wolf, that means the wolves would be Mochi, the old wolf man, Mamiya,
and
but there's also the badger.
Like, even though there's been doubt the whole time that the badger exists at all, it's gotta be.
The game's been indicating it pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So who's the badger?
Even if it's not like a formal role.
I mean, Haruangi was speculating that the old wolf guy's revealing himself as the spider was a signal to the wolves, wasn't he? As the badger?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
So, if he was the badger, who's the last wolf? I don't think
voted for us.
Yeah. I don't think it's Yasu. It's gonna have to be Chiemi.
I'm pretty sure it's Chiemi.
This sucks.
I mean, Yasu's a monkey, isn't he?
No, sorry. I meant
Hanzo.
Yoshitsugu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. This sucks a lot. Fuck this. This shit sucks.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here because I'm feeling a little eepy.
Eepy time.
Go have a sins.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a snack. I can't believe we played this game 3 times in 1 month. We might actually finish it before October.
A new record!
No, now you've jinxed it.
Now we're not going to play it again until October.
Alright, what are you guys up to on Saturday?
I'm out of town.
Fuck. Well, Dubby, do you want to hang out and do some DK or Mario Kart or something?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how we're feeling. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go get myself a snack and then pass out.
Have
All
fun.
right.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for watching, everyone. All one. Good night. Bye-bye. At this
Nah,
point,
good night.
I've
See
fully
ya.
accepted that this is something for us more than any audience necessarily.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is our
Yeah, I
book
mean, like,
club.
most of our streams have 1 or 2 viewers, if
Th-
even.
Well, this one, this series
Well, not just for
especially
this,
is,
it's in general.
yeah, and that's fine. But this particular one is a hard sell.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Mm.
catch you all later. Bye bye.
Bye.